Well, speaking of protagonists, welcome back, everybody.
Yay!
Now that we're all here,
Aubergine.
aubergine.
Are we doing that instead of penis now?
Yeah,
Because we talked about eggplants last time?
I followed you.
You got it. Thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate you. Thank you for the callback. One person got it. Comedian
Oh.
of the century.
Last
Ha.
we left our heroes, we had thwarted a hanging in the outer harbor square of Red's Wharf. Caused quite a bit of ruckus. A lot of confusion, a lot of smoke. Uh, but you are successful in freeing the accused from the gallows, and you made a contact along the way that gave you guys kind of a little bit of instruction in Thieves' Cant as to how to find their hideout, for lack of a better term, which would stand to reason that this would be uh, related to the Thieves Guild in this town known as the Garnet Hand. After the uh, after the excitement in the square, where Tiefling got away, Yuki got pretty badly hurt. You were able to
You'll
you're able to find a way. You're able to find a place to go back and relax and rest and patch up your wounds and take some time for yourselves. A place called the Salty Seal, where you guys got your long rest, but not before Professor went out and did a little bit of experimentation on his own. Um, However, at the end of your long rest, you did achieve a level up. So make sure your characters are leveled up. Make sure your hit points are updated on your Roll20 tokens as well.
Woo! Woo!
And we are doing max hit points for this campaign. I know it's been a
Thank
while.
goodness.
I know it's been a while since we did a level up, so I thought that would be a good reminder.
No, we need that. Thank you.
Oh, appreciate it.
level 4.
Well, I think
Yep.
I think we skipped a number there.
I don't know what you're talking about. I remember 4.
Mm, doubt. So without further ado, I'll bring you back to Red's Wharf, and as we return to our heroes who have settled down in their rooms for the evening, I'd like to go around and see what's going through everybody's head as the morning rolls around, or if you had any other activities you wanted to do over the course of the evening. I will start in the order in which I see names in Roll20, so why don't we go ahead and start with Jade? What's going on with Jade as night turns to morning?
um, so as night turns to morning, Jade has spent the wee hours of the night talking with David and getting his perspective on things because David is someone who would never lie to her uh, and tell her honestly if what she was doing is really not making any difference. And David believes in her. And understanding that and really believing him, even though today's she really didn't feel like he was much help to anyone, her friends, or the tiefling that was in danger, and devolved into panic the second that things didn't go according to the, the myriad plans she had laid out in her head of the things that could happen and could go wrong. And walking into a square with a tiefling about to be hung on the gallows, and then a smoke filling thing was not one of her things on her checklist of the things that might happen today. Um, there was definitely things of like, oh, what happens if I step in quicksand? That was definitely the plan she had prepared for. This was not one. So she's talked with David all night. And when she's finished talking with David, she reaches out to her dad to get a little bit of help, something else that she can have, that she can bring a little extra twilight with her in those times where she does feel like she might not be as useful as she could be to her friends. And after talking with her dad and getting that gift that he was prepared to give her before she left, but she didn't feel comfortable taking, um, she's going to untwist herself from inside the closet. Um, very easy maneuvering for her, although her hat does get in the way a lot. And try not to wake Reverie just yet. She knows Reverie likes to keep in, although she does want to talk to Reverie and apologize for not answering her the night before.
Before you go on, your volume is fading in and out pretty badly right now.
Oh, is it? Okay, hold on.
That whatever you did, it was better. Whatever you just did made it better.
I literally did nothing.
I don't think you did. You must have touched like your microphone or something, because whatever you did made it better.
Okay.
But you're good now.
Okay. So she doesn't want to wake up Reverie just yet, but she does want to apologize to Reverie when she does wake up, to apologize for not answering her when she came in last night. But she'll creep out of the closet with David carefully held in her arms, and she's gonna go see if Nariko might be awake yet, or what time is it right now?
What time do you want it to be when she leaves the closet?
I think she's probably, I don't know, what time do we get in? Like nightfall? So probably like 2 a.m.
Yeah, so you got in the previous day as the sun was setting.
Okay. So she would have been into the wee hours of the morning then. So probably like 2 a.m. She'll probably finish up all her talks with David and her papa, and she'll let Reverie sleep. And knowing Nariko works sometimes and she's just up really late, gonna go see if maybe there's still a light on in there's still a light on in Nariko's room, and go apologize to her first.
All right, Reverie, are you still sleeping in that room with Jade?
Reverie's muted.
Darn mute. Yes. Reverie is still fast asleep in that room.
Jade, I would like you to please give me a stealth check if you were trying to not disturb Reverie.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to disturb her. Okay, Tiny, you have to move. No, not into my dice box. Please, not into my dice. Off you go. Okay. Stealth. Oh, cool. That's awesome. That's an 8 plus. Oh, stealth is with disadvantage. So hold on. So an 11.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Yeah, there's worse. There's an 11 in total. Because I rolled an 8 the first time, I rolled a 14 the next time. So it's a total of 11.
So as you step out of the closet to try to sneak around Reverie sleeping, you kind of twist and turn, make your way out of the closet. It's kind of a tight fit, and as you try to make your way out, you kind of like clang, some of your gear against the side of the door. Reverie, this would kind of wake you up. It would be up to you if you wish to actually kind of let Jade know that you're awake, or if you want to just kind of stay quiet.
That is an excellent question. I'm gonna roll a die.
Leaving so many things to dice these days. Don't you put that evil on me, Nariko.
Reverie will roll over but act like she's still asleep because she knows Jade needs her space, and then Jade will probably come talk to her as soon as she's ready.
All right. So, Jade, your gear clanks to the side of the closet as you try to make your way out. You kind of look over to where Reverie is sleeping. You see her kind of shift a little bit, but she doesn't make much more of a motion.
Okay. Yeah, she gets out of the closet. It's just that one of those like armoires that have like the double doors. Just get out of the closet, holding David, but also her staff, and just there's too much in my hands, and it knocks against the thing. She definitely does that little kid like, oh no, I'm trying to sneak into somewhere I'm not supposed to. It just freezes looking at Reverie. and then breathes a sigh of relief. And she'll look to David and she'll set him gently on like the table that's there, pointed towards Reverie's direction, and just say, "Oh, I didn't wake her up, but just watch over her for me. All right? I'm gonna go see if Noriko's still awake."
There's a little bit of flicker in the flames in the eye sockets that you've come to realize that you've come to know is kind of like a gesture of affirmation, and then just they slowly wink out.
All right, and she'll just break back the room and down the hall to Noriko's room to see if there's light on.
So, heading to Nariko's room, Nariko, busy all night working on various different projects. Would you have left the light on, Nariko, as you eventually passed out that evening?
So this is 2 a.m. So
Yes.
based on my timeline of events, yes, there would still be a light on.
So you approach Nariko's door, Jade, and you see the light spilling out from underneath.
Okay. Oh, she's still up. Okay. Just knock at the door a little bit. Noriko?
There is not a response.
Oh, but she's sleeping. Oh, she doesn't want to talk to me. Oh, if she doesn't want to talk to me, then I really should. I left her. I kind of didn't say anything, and then she's probably mad at me now. And then, Noriko, can you hear me?
It's Jake. Give me a perception check.
Cool. Because I know what happened. That's a nat 20.
Nice.
You don't hear Nariko's voice from beyond the door answer your question. You do, however, hear movement.
Does it sound like Nariko moving around?
On a nat 20, I would say no. It does not sound like Nariko.
Newman?
It sounds bigger than Newman.
Is this door locked? Because Jade's opening this door now.
I think Nariko would have not locked the door on the off chance that one of her friends needed to come find her.
Okay, I whip that door open. Nariko?
You see... Hold on a moment, I need to grab a thing. Oh, it won't let me grab it.
Oh, well,
Go.
I'm on it.
Token.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Token powers activate.
Nope, that didn't work. There he is.
Ah, my goodness.
What?
Holy crap, that's awesome!
So, you come in, you do find Nariko. She appears to have been swept up into the arms of what looks to be a sort of suit of armor, made mostly out of brass, and has this funky little gear that it uses to scoot around on. It is a medium-sized creature. It has her scooped up. Nariko looks like she is either sleeping or possibly unconscious. But the construct just kind of turns its helmet towards you, Jade.
Oh, good. In the split second I have, as I see all of this, before I make a decision, is there anything on him indicating that Nariko made this thing? Or is this just, I'm walking in and there's a robot picking up my girlfriend?
That will depend on whether or not that nat 20 perception check rides into this situation. I leave that up to Joe.
I would say yes.
Okay. Yes. Emblazoned upon like its the little shield that's kind of like pulled back to the side and sort of like stashed at the hip. You can clearly see like the Mystic Mechanicus logo as well as the Von Brutzner Trading Company logo, kind of
Okay.
marked together. plus you've seen Narco's sort of other little gadgets that she's been working on, and this does share a similar design aesthetic.
Okay, good. I was hoping that was the case. Figured it might be, but after
I'm sorry, branding is so very important. Do you think I would not?
I don't know at what stage you fell asleep making this at. Thank you. Passed out making. Actually, correction on that. So Jade whips open the door and steps in to see this, and immediately for a brief second, right around her, the aura around her flickers and goes dark as she attempts to maybe draw something until she spies the branding. Trademarks are important, and so are logos, guys. Capitalism for the win on this one, I suppose. She spies the branding, and that power suddenly rises and dies, and she comes another step in, but then pauses, and she says, "Ashaya Kai, are you? You're not Newman, are you? Did she change you?"
The construct kind of looks down at Naruto, and with one of its hands, kind of brushes away some of the hair from her face. Then looks back to you, and with the free hand, just sort of gives you a thumbs up gesture, and then slowly sort of wheels itself over to the bed to start gently placing her down.
Okay. She fell asleep building you, didn't she? She's gonna shut the door behind her. Well, I came to talk to her, but I'm sure she's really tired. Is it okay if I just sit until she wakes up?
Let's see. This thing has never met you before, so
Yep.
Let's see how.
I haven't been programmed into its friendly file yet.
Does it? Okay, I guess this is a +0. That's fine. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a shitty bodyguard right now.
Cool.
It just kind of gives you a nod and then positions itself right by Narco's side as if on guard.
Cool. Jade's just gonna come to sit close at the chair that's there. And she'll just take a seat and just sit and wait. It's late enough that she didn't think anyone else would be awake now, so she doesn't want to wake up Reverie. And Yuki seemed really tired, and the professor and Ren, well, they went out, but she didn't hear any shouts from people, so she assumes everything with them probably went well, and they went to bed together. So she'll just sit and wait, because Naruko seems to get up really early, and they'll have a talk when she wakes up.
All right.
And she stares at her, but not in a creepy way.
I'm not sure that's possible.
Yeah, it's very not creepy. I don't know what you're talking about. The unblinking stare from the dead girl on the side is fine.
The construct will also stare. It doesn't even have eyes, so no blinking involved. But also not in a creepy way. Promise.
Yeah. I feel with the same, you and I. You know, we got a lot in common. It's good. Just keep up a running anxiety chatter with the robot who can't talk back.
Lovely.
I know. I was waiting to find out whether or not it's does it understand languages? Yes. Can it speak? Does not say.
Nope. We'll teach it. It's fine.
Have to do R2D2 boops.
That'd be amazing. Lovely. So, Jade makes her way to Naruko's room, and we'll sit and have a staring contest with this Steel Defender all night. Professor, what's going on with you as after your experiment, night starts to give way to morning? What's going on with you?
Well, he spends a good portion of the night writing in his research journal before he finally lets himself fall asleep, his mind racing. He will wake up in the morning, probably around 8:30, 9 o'clock. His mind's still racing with what he had learned the night previous and what his next steps should be. He thinks his first step is to let the group know of his findings. Even more so, he's actively trying to work out if there's a way that he might be able to kind of circumvent the corruption that he's dealing with. Given how the corruption affects his grasp on the weave, he figures there's got to be a way or a form of magic that's fueled less by the weave directly, but some other source of arcane power. So he's spent a good long time considering lore from all the different places he's visited, and he kind of came to this conclusion that there is indeed someone who draws their power from like the latent potential of futures untold during times of transition. He thinks maybe there's a way he could learn to tap into some of that same power. And but however that may happen, before anything does happen, it's going to require a discussion before any research can be done. So he just kind of wakes up and grabs his journal and goes down to where the food is.
As any proper tavern would, there is breakfast being served this early in the morning, so you're able to take your pick of all the usual culprits. Coffee, bacon,
all the
pancakes.
usual culprits are going directly into his mouth.
Fantastic.
That's what she said.
Ew.
Was Ren staying with you in the same room?
Yeah, I think we have
I
the
mean,
same
all the
room.
other rooms were taken.
Are you
Somebody's
waking
gotta
Ren
keep
up?
an eye
Or
on
you
this
gonna?
idiot.
Are you waking Ren up? Or are you not gonna bother him?
Yeah, he'll probably just sort of, as he slides his jacket on, like, Ren, I'm gonna go eat bacon and eggs and hash browns, and I'm also probably gonna have pancakes and waffles, and I don't know if they have other things, but I'm probably gonna eat those. So you want to come? Are you awake? Hello, Ren. Are you awake? Good
I'm
morning.
still trying to recover my sanity from the antics last night. Do try to leave some.
Oh, you're going to have to wake up pretty quick if you think I'm going to leave some for you. Or anyone, really. Would you like me to bring you some?
One of the eye sockets glows a little bit. Very well. As if he's
Yeah,
opening one eye. And then it dims a bit again.
Do you have any requests?
Oats with sugar.
Oats with sugar. You got it. And then he kind of slips out quietly.
Professor slips out of the room, goes to get himself some provisions for the morning. Ren, how are you doing this morning? What's going through your head?
Ren was still trying to sleep, but okay, fine. Before he went to sleep last night, though, he was still concerned about the professor. Trees coming to life, even if they were little twigs, that's a new one. He's still pretty worried about this magic. It just feels really wrong. And he is very concerned that the professor is so eager to quote-unquote master it, when Ren understands there are some things in this world that you just don't master. So that's what Ren's concerned about.
Valid.
But right now he's going to try to go back to sleep, and hopefully you'll find some oats beside him when he wakes up.
There.
Oh, he will.
Excellent.
Excellent.
So Reverie, you were woken up in the middle of the night by Jade trying to sneak out. And after a little while, you realize she's not come. She doesn't seem like she's coming back tonight. What's going through Reverie's head? What are you thinking about? What are you? What's going on with Reverie again? As throughout the night, or as night turns to morning.
Well, it's not the first time that Jade has gone out and done something in the night. She doesn't sleep, so I don't think Reverie would think too much of it, and would still want to give her space. So It would be a little bit, but Reverie would fall back asleep. And then sleep in. And I don't know what point we're at in the morning yet, but
haven't quite gotten there yet. Just kind of gauging everybody's state of mind at the moment. So we can play that out in a moment. I am going to then jump to Yuki and say, Yuki, what's going on with you? What are you doing as the night goes on, as morning starts to rise? What's Yuki up to? What's going through her head?
Oh, so many things. So I think, after the nip and the chamomile took effect and crashed her ass out, I think Yuki would have had some like vivid dreams. Dreams about obviously what happened like the square with archers and all of that. She's kind of been replaying that a little bit in her head, and kind of other scenarios, things where she's unable to help her friends because she's hurt, because she's injured. And while she's dreaming, she is also going to be reconnecting. No, that's not the right word. I guess connecting, not reconnecting, but connecting for the first time to more of the world around her. So she will be kind of, as she's sleeping, becoming more aware of the environment around her, more aware of the elements, more aware of fire in the fireplace, the smells of the herbs that she left. All of these things, while she is sleeping, are going to become more infused in her persona, so that when she awakens, it will be as if she sees everything more vividly. Colors are brighter. Temperature is more sensitive. Everything is just almost like enhanced, because she is now the way of the four elements monk. So she is now becoming more connected to the elements around her and how they interplay with her body and her mind and all of those things.
Amazing.
Yay. So then, realizing this and kind of pondering, and she's going to wake up, realize things are a little more real than they have been. She's going to meditate on that a bit. She's been sorely lacking in her practice, her practice of finding balance. She has allowed herself to become reactionary as opposed to preparatory. And she's going to, it's one of the things she kind of realized last night, while she was drinking the tea and trying to reconnect. So she is going to start to reconnect to her practice of balance. So she will meditate this morning before heading down to breakfast.
Very nice. Love the reveal on the monastic tradition.
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal.
I did the thing.
Last but not least, Narg, you were working very hard last night. You passed out amongst your in the midst of your efforts. As you come to, you have your bodyguard next to you and Jade sitting in the same room, but is there anything that goes through Naruko's mind over the course of the night as she's working on this stuff, and where's she kind of at as the night progresses and she passes out and the morning comes?
So, whenever Naruto gets particularly stressed, she sort of needs to work with her hands. Throughout the night, she was sort of bouncing between a number of projects. She was doing the decoding off the map. She was making some more adjustments to what would become the construct standing next to her after seeing Yuki get so badly hurt. She started working on another amulet. She thinks she remembers talking to Newman at some point about something. She added a new module.
no.
Like she went going over and over. Like whenever this happens, she refers to it as the spark. It's where sort of that energy and creative spirit kind of takes over, and she sort of goes into a Zen state where she just sort of lets the flow go and buries herself in all the work. It's oftentimes when she comes out of it, usually waking up the next day, she has a lot of progress and some very confusing notes and very little memory of exactly how she got there. This feels like one of those times as she starts to wake up, and as she sort of takes in the room, she clocks that the construct is there. Maybe doesn't clock that it's actually active now. But the thing that she focuses in on through her very bleary eyes is that Jade is there. And very, very tired, she just sort of says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you were coming back."
Oh, you're awake. Hi, good morning. Sorry, yeah, I came, you were already asleep, and I met your friend, who has been there this whole time. He's a really great listener. She's just gonna get up and move over to sit on the bed. And she's gonna reach out to lay her hand like next to Naruko's hand, wherever Naruko's hand is on the bed, and she's gonna say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. I was feeling like I wasn't helping yesterday, and like I was holding everyone back, and I had a bad reaction to getting caught up in the whole thing at the square, and wasn't really sure. We did so well with the Knolls beforehand, and everything was going so great, and then we get here, and then suddenly something else happens, and I wasn't expecting it, and I handled it badly, and I'm sorry if I made you upset, or if you're mad. I understand, and but I just wanted to be here when you woke up to tell you that. Are you okay?
Naruto kind of reaches her hand forward and puts it on top of Jade's. I thought you were upset at me. I messed up.
I thought you were upset at me because I messed up.
I guess we're both just messy.
A little bit.
She turns and looks over. You said friend, and then the construct kind of turns its head and looks down at Naruto, and she's like, "Oh, it worked. Okay, I'm a bit more awake now. Okay."
Oh yeah, I got in, and he was picking you up. I guess you fell asleep at your desk again, and tucked you right in.
No, I don't. She throws her brow. No, I wasn't at the. I might have hit the floor.
What?
I was kind of in the zone, and I felt really bad about how everyone keeps getting hurt because of my plans. So I really wanted the ARB to be okay and working, and I may have used a lot of magic on it at once. And I was kind of on the coffee, so I probably needed to drink more water first. But he looks good. It's working. Okay, good. That's
He
good.
looks great. Come here. She's gonna reach out and she's just gonna like touch your head and just like run her hands gently through your hair just to feel if you have any bumps or scrapes or cuts.
Well, that feels nice.
Good. First of all, no one's getting hurt because of your plans. People are getting hurt because other people are doing things that they shouldn't really be doing. And
Well.
second of all, you can't help anybody if you fall over on yourself and hit your head on a corner of a table and give yourself a concussion and break your neck.
Right.
Take out an eye. You have very pretty eyes. You don't want to do that, do you?
Okay, I get it. Always have a partner when doing science.
She smiles. Or helmet, but probably a partner. We did kind of yell at the professor a little bit that he needed to do science with a friend. So do science with a friend.
Okay.
Biological friend who actually needs water and food, because she's gonna look over it. What do you call him?
Oh, right. So this here is very first von Grutzer Mark 1 Arcane Robotic Guard. You can ARB for short.
I like it. I'm giggling over the thing. Why be someone who actually needs things so that, you know, they can get you stuff? But he's great. It feels irresponsible to call them in it, because it feels like that's dismissing the fact that they are some sort of alive. But it doesn't really have a gender, so I guess he has a wheel.
When I first started making them, I remember we were staying at the Iron Knight Inn, so I kind of used Iron Knight as sort of the base for it. I mean, chassis seemed pretty male presenting. Is that good for pronouns? The knight just kind of looks and then just gives a thumbs up.
I think he likes it. He was doing that a lot last night when I was talking to him.
Right. Does have language comprehension. Wasn't able to get the voice box working. Maybe an upgrade for later. Was kind of really just trying to get the functionality going first.
I think you got the functionality down.
Yeah.
Maybe work on the voice box after you eat a little bit and rehydrate.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just grab the things off the table. See what I got done before I went to sleep. Newman is not here.
No, I thought he was in here, but okay, so I came to your door and I heard something moving around, and it didn't sound like Newman because it was a lot bigger, and I came in, but Newman wasn't here.
What did I... Probably sent him to do something. What did I... Oh, I probably sent the letter.
Letter?
Okay. Marcus.
The letter.
Right.
Did you proofread your letter?
I hold on. She like runs over and starts like pulling out her like little carrying case full of all of like her correspondence and notes and stuff. She's like, okay, The only thing that's missing is the edited letter, where I took some of your feedback and fixed some typos. So we're good. We're good. It's the correct letter.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'm sure that's going to be a surprise for him.
I mean, I did mean to send it. It's a little disconcerting to not remember having done so. But
You get caught up in your work, you know?
I mean, I guess sending it earlier is better. Open to communication, gives more time to have correspondence before we actually arrive.
Well, yeah. Well, not to mention that if I gives it to Newman, then Newman can get to you anywhere you go, right?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. And then I've got the map here. Okay, this looks legible. Look at it. Correct this. Correct this. Correct this. Okay. Yes. I need juice. Maybe a pancake.
Well, get
2
you some
pancakes.
juice
3 pancakes.
box. Something
Definitely
with
3
a lot of
pancakes.
carbs. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's go. And she turns to the robot, which stands probably more than a full head taller than her. Just RB. Yes, RB. Let's go meet the other Mystic Mechanicus.
Can he get down the stairs with the wheel?
Oh yeah. It's tracked. I made it for all terrain.
That was clever. Of course you did.
Yeah, I didn't. It was I didn't have the full set of armor to convert. I was missing the greaves, so I decided to go with this.
I like this.
Yeah. So let's go.
Also, it's different.
Yeah. Oof, it has been a busy night.
So you, Narco, you gather up everything you've been working on over the course of the night. You guys make your way down to the tavern, where breakfast is being served. How late are you guys making your way out in the morning?
Probably closer to 9 o'clock, considering when Narco went down.
Okay. So yeah. So you gather up your stuff. You and Jade and your defender make your way into the tavern, where at this point I believe the professor is probably already there, and whoever else would wish to be up at this hour. Whoever is out in the tavern at this point, you will see Narco and Jade stumble in with this roving mechanical construct escorting them.
Call the robot.
Halos, teeth, what the hell is that thing?
Who's got teeth? Good morning, Professor.
Hello.
Why
Marco, did you make that?
Norca did make it. She made it all night.
Of course she did. You made it in your sleep, didn't you?
Narco,
Never
you are-
BRB'd.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, she needs juice.
Juice, like orange juice.
Yeah, something with a lot of sugar and maybe pancakes or something. She did. I don't think she ate much yesterday, and then she worked all night, and then I think she had way too much coffee, and she just a lot of food.
Oh, yes, come. And he kind of gets up and kind of helps usher Nariko into a seat. Like, orange juice will be perfect. The sugars in the orange juice. Tiny molecules will permeate the stomach walls, hit the blood faster than anything else. Just get her up and running quickly. And pancakes, syrup, lots of syrup. And he kind of rushes off and rushes back with orange juice and pancakes with syrup and bacon. He kind of slides it in front of Nariko before taking his seat back on the other side of the table. Like,
that was quick.
Jade, how are you doing?
Better.
Better. Good.
Sorry for yesterday. I didn't handle the surprise well of what was happening, and had a bit of a time. But you were going out with Ren to work on your science, right?
Oh, yes.
How'd that
Yes.
go?
He pulls out this leather-bound journal and he kind of slides it across the table to Jade. He's like, enlightening. Extremely, what's the words I want to use? Enlightening, exciting, terrifying.
Terrifying.
He nods and
takes-
kind of
Just take
opens it to
journal
the
and open
first page.
Oh,
Yeah,
they came
Um,
alive?
yeah. I wasn't expecting that. If I would have thought maybe that was a possibility, I certainly wouldn't have just gone out with Ren.
But you did go out with Ren,
I did.
and you weren't alone. And
I was not.
obviously you handled it. So, good. Say that's good.
He draws in a long breath and lets it out slowly. Yeah, Ren wasn't too happy about it, but I'm glad he came.
Well, Ren's very practical, and probably was just as worried about what was happening and surprised. And sometimes not all of us handle surprises well. I know I don't. But
I
maybe
get
we
that.
should institute a buddy system so that for everyone, that way no one is kind of alone when they're doing things. She says as she looks at Noriko. So maybe just take care of each other.
Or at least to catch your head before you hit the ground, yeah?
That's what I said.
He kind of smirks and he's like, well, I think next time I'll bring a couple buddies. Shade.
Yeah?
I've been doing a lot of thinking. And forgive me if this is forward, if I'm crossing a line, but do
Okay.
you think your papa would be interested in having an audience with me?
You want to talk? You want to talk to my papa?
Yeah.
I don't see why not. He likes company. Do you want it just to be alone?
He opens his mouth to respond and kind of closes it. He's like, no, it doesn't have to be. I mean, it may be something boring for other people, but I am by no means looking to keep secrets.
Oh well, the reason I was asking was because I could bring Papa here for you to talk to him, but that would require me to make sure David has enough rest. Otherwise, if you just want to talk to him, you can just talk to him, and you could it's just you and David. Look, when we were talking with Katerina, and I talked to David to talk to my papa at the table, and you couldn't hear my papa, but I was talking to him. It'd be like that.
Well, if he'd be open to coming in person, or at least a physical manifestation of sorts, that'd be nice.
Sure.
I'll be up front. I would love to. I'm well aware of the lore surrounding Moloch, and
Yeah.
Where he gets his strength and that sort of thing. And I can't help but wonder if perhaps I might be able to learn from him in that way, and maybe I could find a way to do something similar to ease the pressure off of relying on the weave for much of my casting.
She looks at Professor blankly for a moment, just a little confused. You want to become a god?
No,
Like,
he holds his hands up defensively. Absolutely not.
Oh, it's
No.
more an archfey situation where you got to get people to. Are you trying to get people to believe in you, or are you
No.
trying to?
You see, well, Moloch, he gets a lot of his strength from the power potential during the transition. Is that true? I don't even know. It's
Oh.
strange of me to assume. Is that actually true?
No, I mean you're right. Yeah. So all gods and deities and things like anything that has a name, like you and I have a name, but a name, something that people believe in and
Yeah, I used to.
elevate and and worship or things like that, or just there's like that common unconscious knowing of it. Like everyone knows who Paylor is, and even if you don't like Paylor, you know who he is and you know he exists. And knowing is believing. So Papa started out as an idea, what most of the gods and stuff do. Like a lot of things do. He started out as potential to be something more. And people believed in him enough that eventually he became more. He became something more. And it was their belief in him, and that's what shaped him originally. And part of that belief was that he would protect him, and he was a protector god. He never actually became a full god. He was like a minor deity. And part of that protection was one of the things that he guarded them from, all the possibility and potential and spaces in between, the transitions, the times when uncertainty prevails, where anything is possible, when night turns to day, when day turns to night, when you become something more, when you change from a child to an adult. That was one of his biggest ceremonies. It's that moment of time that you became something more than you were. And it was just, everybody has stuff like that. And then he would gather his power from all the potentials that you gave up to become the thing that you were becoming. It was a symbolic thing, it wasn't like I must actually cut off my arm and send it to you or something, or I could never be this, but it was you chose a path and that's where you forged down. And then you're right, that's how he got his power, because people gave that to him, basically. So he gained his power from being given it by people who believed in him, and that was the particular sacrifice they made to him. Like, you sacrificed your childhood to become an adult. It's not like you lost it. You were still the person you were, but you gave up your childish things and you gave up to become something different. And because you became something different, all the other things you could potentially ever be now were his. And is that what you're talking about? Like you look into at the possibilities?
I'm going to say at this point it's been a while. Breakfast has been served, and given the liveliness of the conversation going on in the tavern here, I think the rest of you at this point would kind of start rousing from sleep and realizing that people are awake and that food is being made. So I think the rest at this point, the rest of you would kind of start realizing that things are starting to come to life. So please feel free to make your entrance whenever you feel ready.
I think Yuki would have wandered in quietly while Jade and the professor were talking about Paylor and Moloch and all that stuff, and she doesn't want to interrupt, so she would have just kind of quietly walked over to the, I guess, get some food, get some tea, and she will kind of make her way to the table and sit down and just kind of listen to you guys talk about this stuff. And what you will notice about Yuki is the last time you saw her, she was looking pretty rough, having just got fucked up.
Just bleeding from one side.
So fucked up. You'll notice this morning, though, she looks whiter, fluffier. Her fur looks softer. She looks not like, she still looks like Yuki, the Yuki you know. She just looks a little fluffier.
Is that the kind of thing that you were looking for, Professor? Oh, Yuki, good morning.
Good morning, Jade. Good morning, Professor.
You look really nice today.
Thank you. I feel much better. I feel different in a way. I don't really understand it myself, but I definitely feel like a better version of myself.
Oh, well, that's great.
And how are you this morning? Did you get some rest? She specifically did not say sleep.
Yeah, I did. I was feeling. I was spending most of the night talking with David and Arby's him, an oracle made, and he's great. And then just talking with Professor, and I'm feeling much better than I felt yesterday. I'm sorry that I ran off like I did. I didn't handle yesterday well. But I'm gonna do better, and I feel better too. So
Yuki will get up and she will walk over and she will just hug Jade.
just hug her back.
And
Fluffier today somehow.
full fluffy cat embrace, tail wrapped around, just total fluff. And she's gonna pull back and look at you and say, Jade, the help that you bring, the support that you are, you should never feel badly. We are lucky to know you and to have you with us on this journey.
Thank you.
She'll smile at you and just go take her place back at the table.
We're lucky to have you too. Yeah. But I'm feeling much better. Thank you. Norika, drink your juice. She scoots another glass of juice closer to Norika. Professor, was that? Did I explain a little bit better for you? Is that still what you want to look at? Possibility? If Professor is talking, Professor is muted.
Oh, the Mac finally destroyed his setup.
Oh no!
Yep. We can take it to chat. Or we can hold. Quick! Yuki, hold music. Go! Damn it, not that one. Now it's in my head.
It was only a matter of time. 60 seconds to be precise.
Hey.
Thank you. I'm glad people got that. I'm like, really? Was that your niche? Damn it.
I'm so sorry. I was typing right at the time you said it, and I completely missed it.
I said you had nice hair. Also, I said you had 60 seconds with the Jeopardy theme.
So Jade is just going to talk to Professor about that bit. If anyone else would like to take over the scene.
Anybody else want to make their entrance for the morning?
Red might be just starting to smell the sugar in the oats and might be thinking about waking up. He was a little salty and tired last night.
No one wants a grumpy death centaur.
Exactly.
Ren, are you sticking with your oats in the room this morning, or are you going to want to come out and meet up with the rest of the group?
For right now, he's gonna stick in the room because the professor was good enough to bring him some snackies there, so he's gonna just kind of munch on them there and probably try to do a little bit more of that meditation thing that he keeps hearing about. Even though the last 2 times he's done it, it's just irritated him. But he will sit there and slowly munch on his oats with sugar and try to do some meditation, not for himself, but to try to focus on how to fix the professor, because this idiot isn't listening to reason. Yeah, what type of role is that, DM? I have questions.
Wait, what are we rolling for?
We're rolling on how to fix the professor and his idiot desire to learn how to use void magic.
Ugh. I think that'd be a series of checks. There's a lot of them.
Okay, what we got?
Probably at least insight and persuasion.
Alright,
Yeah.
let's start with insight and see if I can figure out what the fuck's going on with people. Not that he's very good at that. Oh, actually, let's see how bad this rolls. Okay, yeah, that's about on par. Cool. That's an 8. Insight's bullshit. Awesome.
You're starting to piece it together, Ren, but you feel it's one of those things where the pieces to the puzzle are there. You're still just trying to figure out how to put the border together.
Can you try to get a better grasp of what's going on with this particular type of magic and why it feels so wrong?
Give me Arcana.
Oh, magic shit, you know. You don't know people, but you know magic. Okay.
So what the beat that you kind of got? So as you were kind of replaying what you saw last night in your head, you saw the professor use this magic that this world either has not seen or hasn't seen in a very long time. You saw it open up in this kind of open field, and these 2 twigs that he had placed in the ground. And as you're kind of thinking about it, you almost get a bit of a you almost kind of get a bit of a divine inspiration on this, is that it seems to have some kind of effect on organic life. That whatever it does, it twists them into something different.
Okay.
It's not quite like a consumption sort of thing, as much as it is just distorting it.
The metamorphosis. Yeah. It's a twisted metamorphosis. This is not a positive thing. Alright. Oh, Ren, do you want to share your findings with the professor?
Ooh.
Oh, we are? That's a terrible plan, Ren. I just want to go try to experiment some more on physical or on material things. Okay, fine, we'll go share it with him.
Bring it.
I do
Just
enjoy
gonna
when
go
the table
experiment
DMs itself.
Yeah. Dang, Ren, I think this is a stupid idea, but we're gonna do it.
Part of that divine inspiration that you get, Ren, is that you feel like you are just about touching the surface on what it is that may have brought you back.
Very
Why
strange.
Thanatos has decided to kind of boot you back to the material plane.
This void magic and the twisting of material items, biological items. Quite strange. I will share my findings with the professor, but I am quite certain I will not like the outcome. Better forewarned, I suppose. Yeah, he's gonna do that later, though. He's gonna keep munching on his yummy oats and enjoying the quiet! I've got a lot of quiet since I joined this group.
Chocolate.
Meanwhile, cut back to Narco and Professor and Jade and Yuki in the tavern area. Mars, I did hear your microphone for half a second. I think you might be working again.
Yeah.
Hey,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I wanted to make a noise but not completely throw everything out, so sounded like the right thing to say.
It worked out.
It felt appropriate.
Do you wanna say what you put in the chat? Or do you want me to just respond? Or do you want
Yeah, if you could just respond if you want.
Yeah. I don't see why it couldn't work. I mean, you're right. So the way I was putting it was kind of just the things that happen to make a god a god. But not just it's not just a god though. It's anything built of magic grows in power. Everything does. You get more powerful. I mean, even regular people do. You don't have to be a god to do that. It's not just. Look, I could practice the same spell 1,000 times.
in a spell book, and it will never work for me the way that it works if I were to do it my way that I did it, because the way I do it is what I believe in, and that's how I imagine my magic works. And the more I put into that belief and the more I understand it, the more powerful I become, and the more potential I can kind of pass out with my magic. When you were asking about my papa, I just kind of put it in terms of what happened with him personally. I don't think it would work on you to become a god anyway. You'd kind of have to die, and then you'd have to potentially kill another god to do it, and then you'd have to. There's a whole thing and a lot of paperwork involved. That's what papa says anyway, and you'd have to do. It'd be a whole big thing if you were trying to become something like that. But I don't see there's any reason you can't at least learn about the threads of possibility and how those can be used. I mean, it's not like it's what Papa used to become what he was, because that's what people gave him. I'm sure he'll teach you too. Like, especially since you're not going to really be using it to become a god or anything, just to learn and understand.
He can't help but chuckle a bit. He's like, "Can you imagine if I did, though? That would be the most boring deity out there, using all that power people have given me to sort out dusty old books and learn new things."
But there's already gods like that.
Yeah, boring lot. They are.
Not from the way Papa tells it.
He smirks. Like, well, I'm sure they've perfected the art, but not something I'm interested. But
Yeah.
You're right. The power of possibility and the pulling the threads of fate and whatnot. There's something there, and yeah, I really do think that, given enough time and effort, I should be, even as a mortal, I should be able to mold and pull on them at least a little bit.
You're probably not going to be able to do the things that my papa can do, but if he can teach you, and I don't see any reason he wouldn't teach you if you're willing to learn. I mean, he taught me a lot of stuff. You're probably not going to be able to see everything, all the things that papa sees, or used to hold on to anyway. But if he can teach you the spells, because you're not going to be like absorbing it the way he was, you'd be actually using yourself to connect with it. I think you might be onto something. You'll be able to say a little bit of the patterns of fate, I guess. Fate's a terrible word to use, because fate implies that there's only a certain outcome, and I mean, Papa would obviously say, no, that's completely untrue. There's usually 12 that you don't see, 4 that you do, and only 1 that's the easiest way to get to.
He nods. He's kind of staring and nodding in agreement. And he kind of looks down at his plate a little bit. He's like, yeah, it's like a god would take this bacon. He lifts up a slice of bacon, takes a bite out of it. They would eat it and use it to conjure more bacon with bacon magic. Whereas I would take the same bacon, and I wouldn't eat it to conjure bridges, but I could probably use that bacon to... And he starts to sort of stack them on the table, one next to another in a long line. Like, stack that same bacon in a way to make a bacon bridge myself in a different way.
Yeah,
and then he takes the last slice and kind of jams it all in his mouth. Bacon mancy, if you will.
As Professor is playing
Interesting.
with this bacon and pushing it all into his mouth, Reverie shows up.
Morning, Reverie.
Good morning, Reverie.
Morning. How is everyone?
Good. What's some bacon?
Professor made a bacon bridge.
A bacon bridge?
Yeah, it was on his plate, but it's gone now.
You can have some if you want. Bacon mancy.
I would like some bacon, and I'd also like to know more about this bacon mancy.
He starts picking them up slices by slice off the table and hands it over to Reverie as she joins.
Did
Thank
you
you.
sleep well?
I slept okay. Did you get some rest?
Yeah, I did. I had a really great conversation with Arb. She's gonna
Arb?
point to the robot. Yeah. Nora beat him last night, and he's a really great listener. Did you bring David with you?
Did you leave David with me?
Oh, yeah, I left him on the table.
Oh, crap. And Reverie will get up and go get David.
Oh, I can. Oh, she's gone.
So, minus friend, Mystic Mechanicus is gathered in the tavern.
The professor will stand up and kind of push his.
Oh, do we lose Marcy?
Oh, the back killed him!
Oh,
Damn it! So close.
Story short,
Oh, he's back.
what we found is that there's some interesting side effects of using the void. Not so much on myself personally so far, but, well, I used a couple of sticks as target practice last night with Ren, and when exposed to the spell, they animated. Fierce little buggers, too.
Right. What, they were getting thrown around by them? By the void magic?
They were they grew eyes and teeth and mouths, and they became sentient. At least I think they're sentient things, bitey things, angry bitey things that had no qualms with attacking us.
I don't. Does that? She's gonna look at Reverie and at Naruto. Is it things that can even do that? I believe you, Professor. I 100% believe that is what happened. Is that something that can happen outside of this? Or is that completely from the void?
There are magics that can be used to animate matter, and if you do so with the intent to cause violence, then certainly the objects will respond in kind. In this case, I think those sticks probably got some of the void tainted within them, and the void is more or less antithetical to creation. If you lock something that is not even just destruction but nothingness inside of now a corporeal body, it would not surprise me if the only sort of reaction it had would just be to thrash about and try to reduce to nothingness everything within reach.
But why? That's concerning, but why hasn't it happened before then? Professor, what did you do last night that made that happen? Because Jeffrey's been here. He hasn't been corrupting anything. You made him hold those strawberries for like 2 days.
Yeah, you're right. Although Jeffrey wasn't fasting anything, he wasn't actually diverting any void energy outwards. I don't know. I only have the one spell.
But isn't he made of void energy?
I don't know. I don't think
Oh.
so. Not entirely. I mean, when I summoned him, I
Oh.
used all the same components and spell forms as a regular Find Familiar spell, with the exception of instead of grabbing onto the weave, it grabbed onto whatever was out there, which apparently was
Definitely.
leftover void energy.
Hmm. Well, that's concerning and interesting, but concerning. What kind of magic did you do? The one that showed up in your spellbook?
He nods. I
What was
opened a void rift.
A rift. What was it supposed to do? Do you even know?
Well, it sort of. I mean, I've only cast it 2 times. The first time, it just sort of, my understanding was it just opens a bit of a rift and calls forth these ethereal sort of tendrils of energy to sort of thrash about. And I thought it was just the spell was to thrash about things that was in the general vicinity.
Well, that's not what happened this time.
Sort of happened. That's what happened, but the effect was different. It didn't just cause damage to the sticks. It twisted them and changed them. In fact, I don't think it caused any damage to the sticks.
Let's. So what would happen if you cast that and it hit a person?
He shrugs. I've done it before and it didn't do that. That first time I cast it against the gnolls, they didn't change, mutate, or anything as far as I know.
But we also have evidence that those gnolls were in fact products of some sort of void tampering.
That's true.
Yes, it's
Maybe
true.
Maybe it can't change something the void's already touching? Because they've already been twisted? They were already twisted. They were something different.
This is true.
Oh no, what if it's just gonna... What did Ren say?
A lot of angry words. He was not entirely pleased.
Well, maybe we
I
should
mean, he's
ask...
also kind of grumpy already, but
Well, I mean, it's a lot to deal with, you know? Trying to be here and not remember things, and then remembering little bits, and then Ren's just been through a lot. Maybe we should ask him.
Yes, I absolutely don't blame him. And I also kind of threw him to the wolves during the altercation in the square. That lack of judgment, one which I incredibly regret. But yeah,
What do you mean?
when I was trying to distract all the people by pretending that, and I don't remember who it was that I said it was. So and so was.
Asmodeus.
It was coming back and just trying to scare all the people away. And so
that was you.
That was me. Yeah. Retrospect, not. It's kind of rude.
Yeah, you
See
didn't
that
sound
now.
like it.
It wasn't nice. Won't do that again.
Did you apologise?
Oh yes.
Oh, well then I'm sure Ren's forgiven you.
He kind of nods and shrugs at the same time, like, well.
What, sometimes actions speak louder than words? Maybe just, show him that you really mean it when you said you're sorry.
He nods. I
Back to
did
the
bring
void.
notes.
Oh, did you? That's nice. He's still not down though. Should we go get him? I mean, even Revery's here.
You know what? Let him sleep. If he wants to sleep, just let him. Unless we're going to be leaving, I can't imagine he'd want to be left behind. But the more sleep that he gets, the better rested and prepared for all of this. He wasn't particularly pleased with the events involving the void, so discussion of this nature might be a little agitating. So just let him come down on his own terms.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we're leaving though, because Noriko, didn't she? I'm so again sorry about yesterday. I feel like we really should have talked more before the night happened, and then we all kind of, as my fault mostly. But Noriko, didn't you say that you met a friend? You made a friend and then they gave you a secret?
Right. Naruko pulls out the maps that she had spent the night decoding, kind of lays it out. This should be able to give us some directions to where the Garnet Hand are hiding out, so we can make contact and get their side of the story on just what's going on around here. There was a half-elf in the crowd. She had some sort of magic on her that created a sort of an aura of cloaking about her. So that's when I disappeared for probably a second or two before popping back in when she left.
And what did she say? What did she give you?
Well, first she tried to dissuade me from interfering with events, stating she didn't want me to get in trouble on their account. I asked if she had any sort of plan in the works to free her compatriots. She said she did not. I was able to extract from her that she and the tiefling were both part of the Garnet Hand, and I made clear my intention to make contact with them later, and she gave me this notice. Apparently, if I was of a more criminal inclination, I would already be familiar with this particular cipher, but I am not, so I had to break it the hard way. I didn't think any of us had ever run with a thieves guild before, and it felt rude to ask.
This is my first time out, so none for me.
Likewise.
So that was what I was going to have on the itinerary today, was to go seek them out.
So you cracked the code then?
Yep.
I'll go first and then I'll let you go. Reverend, yesterday, when everything happened, you ran back into the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice anything else after? Because everyone else was leaving, just left, kind of, and then you went back in. Did you? I mean, Norika said that the half-elf she met had like some sort of aura about her. Is that? Were you trying to find that, or was the tiefling kind of like the?
I was trying to help rescue the tiefling, but by the time I got there, she was already gone.
Oh, okay. Well, that throws that theory out the window then. Now you go.
Nargo says, yes, I was able to crack the code. And points to wherever on the map this safe house is.
The map that you had
lovely.
points you into a direction by the east docks, kind of like in this area here.
So not that far from where we chose to stay. That's lucky.
So, if it's the safe house that's a secret, are we all supposed to just go? I have a question too. Like, they weren't planning to save their friend. Are we? Are they?
God.
Do we think? What if they're just? What if they're not? Okay, I'm saying this wrong because I'm not saying anything at all. I'm kind of not. I'm not saying talk. We all came here because we thought maybe the person that we've been after might be doing something with the Garnet Hand. And maybe they were in danger, or were trying to, were being coerced. But they weren't even willing to help their friend that was in danger of literally dying. What if what we're after isn't here? And then we go into a safe house with a thieves guild that is just bad people willing to let people die. What do we do then?
Well, we don't know whether they didn't step in because they couldn't, just lack of resources, or already being rather heavily hunted and not wanting to lose more members. If they are actually a bunch of bad people, they're still the only ones who can give us any answers on what we do need to do. So, one way or another, we need to figure out what's going on with them, which, if we don't all want to step into the den, I am willing to go in with myself and Arby and whoever else wants to volunteer, and anyone else can be our backup.
I can go. Apparently, I am intimidating.
You're really tall, so that can be intimidating for a lot of people.
But I do not blend in well if they are trying to be inconspicuous.
I guess that's my other question is, if this is a safe house and it's supposed to be a secret, are we all supposed to just go in together at once? Or it's morning, do we wait till night time? In the books, they always wait till night time to do, like, secret things. But I guess if it was the daytime and something went bad and it happened, then there'd be more people to come help us.
I also think if we go in the daytime, we might also be able to keep our eyes open for any soldiers or guards also looking for this safe place, this hideout. If we go at night, we might be followed, we might be ambushed. I feel like day might be safer.
They didn't deign to give me any instructions on when to visit, so I say we will do it at our convenience, and that is this morning.
Sounds good. Good morning, Ren.
Good morning.
How are you feeling? Professor told us about the sticks that attacked you yesterday. Are you okay? Did you get bit again?
No. Oh, the gnolls, of course, right. No, and I believe I might have had some insight into the way the void magic works, Professor. I give this to you as a means of caution, not an invitation to more experimentation, although I can only imagine how you're going to use it. The void magic seems to be particularly reactant to biological materials. It didn't seem to interfere so much when using things like stones or the dirt path, but those sticks created a reaction, some sort of twisted warping. Please do keep that in mind if you utilize those abilities on anything more complex of a biological nature.
Professor looks thoughtful, looks to Nariko, and says, well, it certainly leaves more credence towards the idea that things that have been already touched by the void might be unimpacted.
Things that have already been touched.
The first time that I cast this was against the gnolls, and they didn't change when it was touched by the spell. Not like those sticks were, but there's good reason to believe that they were already touched by the void previously.
That looks at the bite area on his arm. Yes, they were already quite odd.
Professor thinks for a second and his eyes widen. And he looks between Ren and Yuki. Could that be why you guys began to change? Because whatever they did to you, the bites were corrupted with void magic.
Maybe why we couldn't tell.
Not impossible.
It is very possible.
It certainly was
Perhaps.
behaving not quite like curses that we are used to.
Perhaps, since you've already been touched by the void, you might be immune to its effects going forward. Not saying that I want to experiment on you, but there may be something to that should we run into this again.
That is less than comforting, but indeed, it's a possibility. Can I do some sort of Arcana check to see how likely that is, DM?
To see how likely what is. I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Did I have void immunity?
More like inoculation.
I have inoculation.
Let's call another
Get your
Arcana
rabies
check.
shot.
Let me gather, Ren, is that even though you were touched by it, it doesn't feel like there's any kind of like immunity to it, although it's really hard to tell without being exposed to it again.
Thank you, that's more than sufficient. We will keep that in mind, but let us not attempt to replicate the experiment that got us there. I do not want to grow an eyeball again. It was quite disconcerting.
You know, eyeballs aren't all that bad. Unless you get like an eyelash in there, that kind of sucks.
In your head, perhaps.
Can you feel it if you put? I'm not gonna. Never mind. That's a stupid question. I'm not gonna put my finger in any eye socket. That would be rude.
Thank you, Jade. I appreciate your restraint in this matter.
You're welcome. I don't do it to David, and I won't do it to you. Right, David?
Yeah, of course, Miss Jade.
It was at one time that I got a candy licorice, but that was because we were having a licorice fight, and that just kind of went sideways, and it got him in the eye. But that was mostly just, and that was an accident. But I won't do that. But you're taller than me, so that probably won't happen.
Alrighty. Well then, who wants to join me for our meeting with the Garnet Hand?
Well, I'm not letting you go alone.
I will
Hard for me to
join
pass
as
up an
well.
opportunity to meet new people.
I am content to go. It will make it more difficult for them to make us disappear if that is their intention.
That's true. Also, just in case, I did it once. If I touch you, if something goes wrong, now, okay, I said this weird again. I'm sorry. If things go wrong and something happens and we need to make a getaway, I can only do it once, but I can make somebody kind of leap forward a bit. So just in case I reach out to you in the midst of a battle, please don't fight me. I promise I'm doing it for your own benefit and safety.
Yuki puts her teacup down and says, I almost lost my life cutting down that tiefling. I will be going as well.
Alright. Gregory, do you want to make this a full party, or do you want to hang back in reserve?
I'll come with.
Alright. And if it's a trap, we'll all be trapped together. Concentration of firepower. Which reminds me, Narco reaches into her bag and she pulls out a clockwork amulet and hands it to the professor.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Is this a clockwork amulet?
Yes, I since we got a whole bunch of scrap back in Dumdral, I've been trying to make up one for each of us. They're very handy and very stylish. Badge of membership in the Mystic Mechanicus.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. And he kind of slides it into his waistcoat pocket, so it kind of dangles out like a pocket watch.
And then I'm sorry, Reverie, you're the last one on my list, but I'll get you one hopefully tomorrow. If we don't have
It's
a crazy
fine.
night again.
Take your time.
Okay, so we will head down the street. We'll head towards the docks. We'll find this building and make sure we take a good look around, that we're not, no guards are observing us. And Joe, did the instructions give any sort of like, find this door and tap 3 times, all like an owl or something, or anything like that?
Use the secret code phrase. Then we know Cal sent you.
Hey, I know a guy.
The instructions that you were able to decipher says to give 2 quick knocks, a pause, and then another quick knock.
Dave and a haircut, got it. Alrighty. Let's head up.
All right. As you all make your way out of the Salty Seal, whoever may wish to do so may give me a perception check.
I want to. Yay, it's an 8 again.
Plus 7.
Wow.
Yeah, I got above a 10 for something with people. That's really good for me.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Well
thank
done.
goodness for Yuki, because
So,
keeping our asses.
as you step out into the street, you all look around you. You do see that there are some of Ursa's guards, kind of patrolling the streets. They're just kind of like beat cops, just kind of doing their thing. It occurs to you that it's possible that they could recognize Yuki.
Where's my tarp when I need it?
You gave it to a halfling named Ted.
I gave away my family tarp. Damn it.
You have a moment to react before they're going to be facing in your direction. What do you do?
Yuki will duck around a corner quickly.
Okay.
And then, wait, I have things. So she will duck around the corner to get like away from their view briefly, and then she will wait for it. She is going to she's gonna tuck her tail she's gonna wrap her tail around like the inside of her like her dress. She's gonna tuck it up and wrap it around like almost like a little inner belt, and then she's going to take the robe that she was given that she has from the spa, and she's going to use that, and she's going to fashion like a hooded thing out of her robe that she was given.
Give me either a stealth or a deception check.
Okay. Ooh, stealth is +6, and I'm gonna roll actual fucking dice, because fuck you, computer. Okay, that is 11, 17.
So, as you kind of spot these guards coming at you, you wrap yourself up as quickly as you can. You kind of try to duck down one of the passageways. The rest of you can kind of see this happening, and the rest of you still in the alleyway. You can see one of the guards kind of tap the other on the shoulder and motion in your direction. They start walking towards you.
Towards all of
Towards
us?
the group of you, yes.
Okay. Naruko positions herself to talk to the keepers of the peace.
Jade away because she sees him pointing, and it seems polite.
As they approach you, they kind of nod and acknowledge you, and they start to move towards the alley that Yuki has tried to hide herself in.
Someone rolled a really good perspective.
They rolled a 19.
Motherfucker, run!
So they're coming down the road. They're about to turn the corner. Are you trying to get in their way? Yuki, are you running? What are you doing?
I think Yuki, sensing their intent, is going to continue to try to flew for the wind and GTFO.
Give me another stealth check as they start to round the corner, and you try to get away.
Good fuck!
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
God, no good deed. She does not. That is 12. Well, maybe she does, but it's only a 12.
Do you have inspiration? Because now would be the time to use it.
Yeah, I do. Alright, let's give that a whirl. Let's see if we can get a little higher. Nope, just rolled another 6. Still 12.
So,
Still 12.
these guards walk past the group of you. They acknowledge you cordially, but they continue walking. Unless you intend to get in their way. They turn the corner to where Yuki was, and you see them kind of take a few steps into the alleyway, and they stop and they look around. Yuki, you have managed to successfully hide yourself from them.
Oof.
Oh, thank goodness.
Was everything okay?
Jesus.
They kind of stop and they look around and they turn back to you, Jade, and they say, yes, we saw someone we are on the lookout for. Have you noticed a light-colored tabaxi kind of roaming about in this area?
Narco looks around to the bouncer. Oh, yes, absolutely. That's our friend.
Oh, yeah, that's Yuki.
You were friends with the light-colored tabaxi.
Oh, yes, certainly. She was there at the commotion at the gallows yesterday. She was trying to help get us out from the smoke, but couldn't find us. Then someone shot at her with a bow. And after that, she just tried to get out of there because she didn't want to die, obviously. Why? What do you need with her?
They kind of look at each other.
Were you trying to get a statement to say who shot at her?
She's a person of interest in our investigation. Would you be able to retrieve her for us?
Potentially. Is this... She looks at us. Is this, the investigation for Captain Yrsa?
It is, yes.
I don't suppose she happened to tell you lot that the Mystic Mechanicus was also assisting her in the investigation?
She mentioned that she had met with a representative, yes.
Right. Narco pulled out the watch, flips it over for him. I would be that representative, and Yuki would be one of my agents.
Give me a persuasion check.
If I still had an advantage, I'd give it to you.
They kind of look at each other, and you see they lean in and they kind of start like whispering to each other. And they look back at you, Narco, and they kind of nod and they say, "We didn't realize she was with your group. We'll report this back to Captain Yrsa."
Well, thanks for checking on her. That was nice of you.
They kind of nod and they say, "Enjoy the rest of your day," and they will turn and come back the way they came.
You know, aside from the guards shooting into the crowd yesterday, those ones seem pretty nice.
Just doing their job. This is why I really wanted to make sure I had a chance to talk with Captain Yrsa and get a foot in the door with her. Smooth over things like this.
Where did Yuki go?
Yuki rolled a 12. That does not beat my passive perception. Narco looked straight at the pile of garbage, and she just pulls over a bag. He's like, "They're gone now, Yuki. They won't bother you."
Oh,
Oh, she's
hi.
still in the alley.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you like ran down some other street, and I'm just like, why did Yuki suddenly run away? Where'd she go?
Oh, hi, Noriko. They're gone.
Yes, I just explained to them because remember I talked to the captain yesterday and made her aware that the Mechanicus would be assisting in her investigation, and I just said, "Yes, she's one of my people. You shot her when she was trying to help out, create order in the crowd. I'm very cross. Leave her alone." Not in so many words, but yes.
Yuki, why are you in the trash bin?
Yuki just hugs Noriko. She just hugs you.
Thanks, but this would be a lot harder if you had to hide yourself the entire time we're in the city.
Right,
It would be very inconvenient.
right. Yes, it would be very inconvenient. Yes. And she'll dust herself off a little bit and try to. She'll pull her tail back out.
Now, on the off chance that they still come back around and want to ask questions for you, just refuse to answer anything unless I'm there with you.
Right. Done.
All right. Well, that was a thing.
Not for nothing. This is the second time that something's happened where guards have chased one of my friends into an alley. It's the second time that's happened, which isn't a lot, but it's strange that it's happened 2 times.
Well,
Yeah.
Depending
My
on
question is go on.
depending on what we need to do with the Garnet Hand, it might not be the last, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I might question your caliber of friends, but I've met all of us.
To be fair, I wasn't friends with Reverie yet. We had just met. And they were chasing, 2 men were chasing her down an alley, and then I told them she went the other way.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, like a month's worth of history.
It feels like a lot of history at this point in my life.
Right? It's a lot of time. It's the most history I've really ever had. Of things happening. I mean, I have history. I mean, I'm with things that are actually with friends and stuff. So where's this house at?
This way.
So you make your way to the spot on the map that is called out that you were able to decipher. The building that you come upon, it's a very unassuming kind of building. It's like it's like a cottage with a small like attic / loft style room. You can tell by there's a smaller like second story with a single window kind of peeking out over the street. The ground floor is your typical wooden type cottage. It looks like it's been there for a while. Looks like it's been well lived in. You see some curtains in the window of varying patterns. There's a small like wooden fence outside. It doesn't look too different from the rest of the buildings on this block.
Excellent. Naruto will head up the steps to the door and give the knock knock knock.
A few moments later, there's a short, gray-haired, balding dwarf smoking a very long pipe. Answers the door, looks up at you, and goes, "Yeah."
Naruto smiles as she leans down a bit. She says, "Hello, my good sir. I was told this is where I should go if I'm looking for a helping hand."
He kind of sniffs and he looks at the rest of you, and he says, "What? You want some money?"
Naruto doesn't know this. Doesn't know like thieves can't. But she's trying here. So she's He's like, not as such. We helped out some friends of yours bring back a very important asset. They were hoping to have further discussions.
He kind of puffs on his pipe and he says, "So I have no idea what you're talking about."
They're just nice.
Oh, it's the theory?
She just pulls out the map that she was given and just, look, I got this from someone. Lisa's here. Can I please talk with Beldra?
Beldra?
That's the one.
See, the dwarf takes out a pair of reading glasses. He kind of leans in closer. He looks at the map, and he leans back and he kind of steps inside the doorway and steps to one side. He says, "Basement."
Thank you. Wipes her feet on the welcome mat. Walks through. Heads to the basement.
And ducks down, make sure he doesn't hit his antlers on the doorway. Thank you.
Yuki will follow.
Everybody following in the basement?
Yep.
Narka just muttering under her breath. She was like, I thought that whole hand comment was really clever. Did he not get it, or... I'm not good at this.
Narco.
Dwarf closes the door behind you, leads you to another nondescript door on this ground floor of this building, opens it up, and it leads you into a stone basement. It's a typical flight down to a candlelit stone basement. Separated a couple of rooms. As you make your way down, there's a great room down there that has some comfortable seating arranged. There is kind of like almost like a conference looking like table, chalkboard with all sorts of thieves' cant writing on it. Several bedrooms that are kind of branched off of this larger room. Right in the middle, at the table, you see the white tiefling from yesterday. She's sitting at one of the chairs on the table. She has kind of a glass of water in front of her, and she looks kind of exhausted, but okay. And sitting next to her is the half-elf Narco that you saw in the square.
You're okay!
The two look up. The half-elf stands while the tiefling remains seated. And she says, "Yes, we have you to thank for it. I'm glad you were able to find us."
Narka smiles as she moves over to take a seat at the table. Well, I told you, I'm good at improvising and good with ciphers, so
Norka
hope you weren't
did
waiting
it.
too long for us.
You weren't followed
Norka
or
figured
anything.
out the plan, and then Yuki got Stiri down.
Yes, Tiri told me what she saw, or rather what she thought she saw in that smoke cloud. All she knew is that once the rope had snapped, she got out of there. I figured we had you to thank for it. I left the square as soon as the commotion started. I can't risk the guards following me back here. You guys weren't followed here, were you?
Nope.
You sure?
I don't think so. No one was behind us.
At the very least, not the guards. If there's anyone else gunning for you, we can't really be sure.
That'll have to do. Well, welcome. And again, thank you.
Yuki is going to look at Satari and she's going to say, I'm glad to see you were able to get away and that you are well.
She looks up and you see her hand is like shaking a little bit, and she kind of nods and she says, "I I didn't expect such excitement on one of my first assignments."
What?
Yes,
random person.
I can imagine that was. Yuki's gonna look like a little haunted for a second. She's gonna pause and she's gonna say, "Exciting."
Beldra nods. She says, "Yeah, it's an unfortunate hazard of the profession that we've chosen for ourselves, and we all understand that when you join the Garnet Hand, you are, for the most part, throwing safety to the wind, although we try to be as cautious and aware as we possibly can. This is not a 100% safe profession, as I'm sure you could imagine. So, when you looking to Narca, when you saw me in the square yesterday, I take it my personal responsibility that if and when any of our members are ever caught, that I at least do them the honor of being there to support them and also to remind myself of what kind of what's at stake if things ever happen to go wrong. I'm
Why didn't you? Why didn't you help?
She kind of shakes her head. She says, Yrsa has been on an absolute crusade in trying to find members of Garnet Hand. I really could not risk outing myself.
Makes sense.
The look on Jade's face says she disagrees.
But differences in management style aside, we came here because we're on the trail of some nasty folk who have been stirring up not just chaos throughout the continent, but involved in some very dangerous magics as well.
That led you to us?
In a way, we're hunting down one of their leaders, a wizard of no small talent. He fled through a portal, and what little we caught of it seemed to be some sort of cave at the seaside. We figured that Red's Wharf was the largest settlement near terrain that matched that description, so it was the place to go. And then when we heard that there had been issues with your guild and their operations, we suspected that they might be involved. Which sounds a little silly until we realized that when we stopped by Dumdural and then Rockdale, that similar disruptions very much were traceable back to them as well. So, conspiracies, very fun.
Beldra kind of looks at you all and she says, No, that makes sense. We've suspected that there's been another group operating in Red's Wharf for some time now that have been trying to pin whatever it is they're doing on us. It kind of resulted in the rise of Captain Yrsa to the rank that she's at, and her and the town leading this crusade against us. There have been thefts, heists, other schemes that have been executed very sloppily, very publicly, that have not ever been our MO. But
Yeah, Fedman mentioned that you guys were much better than you used to be anyway.
yes, and it's our pre-existence that has led people to believe that it is us just getting more brutal, but it's so sloppy. Ugh. Whatever they're doing, it gives Thieves Guilds a bad name.
So your guild isn't doing these things under the coercion or behest of someone else? It's someone impersonating you? Or at least
She shakes her head.
not showing, at least not naming themselves as someone other than a Garnet Hand?
She shakes her head and she says, No, we would never do something so public. We're more of a band of smugglers and bribers. We don't run petty thefts on the street, break into storefronts and houses. That's low-level stuff.
So, if they're such bad thieves, surely you've got some sense of their trail then, right? You are the professionals.
Well, as We have caught some information, what little we can. It's hard for us to move around the city without always constantly looking over our shoulder, way more than usual. We're still kind of dealing with how to navigate through that. What I can tell you is that it is a company, well, we found anyway, those who had fallen behind. They wear some sort of strange blue sashes. It's the one thing in common that we've seen with them. And from what my scouts have told me is that they may have made a base in an old manor that's about an hour travel northeast of town. But we haven't had the resources to be able to go out and check it ourselves. As a matter of fact, I did send a scouting party out 7 days ago, but I haven't heard back from them yet.
Only a few hours away, and it's been a week since you heard from them?
Yeah.
Okay, so probably something happened. Probably, yeah.
It seems likely.
Does blue sashes ring any bells?
It is, so Fedwin did tell you that, or the people, well, somewhere in Crystal Cove, I forget who it was, did inform you that the people who were doing similar acts also had blue sashes.
Mm-hmm. Narco nods. Yeah, blue sashes. That matches the descriptions of the arsonists at Crystal Cove, and we all know who they work for. Interesting. So, petty thefts. They're either interested in accumulating wealth, which apparently these are these particularly profitable endeavors? You said they're very sloppily executed, but are they at least making off with a lot of goods as a result, or is it still petty takeout for petty crime?
They seem to be targeting more gem dealers in the area.
Oh, duh. She turns to her companions. They might be looking for that particular gemstone that we got a notice for back in Dumdaral. And looking for it in the most idiotic manner possible, even. Okay.
This is more of the thing we were talking about before. It's like, I seem to have so much patience for a bit, and then suddenly do things.
And your volume is cutting in and out again.
Oh, hang on. Any better?
Yeah, that's better.
Cool. I'm just gonna hold my thing because holding it I'm just holding my headset and it seems to be working better. Weird.
I wonder if the microphone is starting to come out of its jack.
No, it's in there.
Yeah.
I pushed it in as deep as it can go.
You sound fine.
Anyway, okay. So, she says, all this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where it's like they seem to have so much patience for a bit and then suddenly lose all patience or go crazy with whatever plan they were doing.
Potentially. Besides, so acquiring the gemstones to, again, for enacting rituals or even just some profit on the side. I talked with the captain. At least from my conversation with her, I couldn't get any bead on whether or not she had some connection to this. She turns to Beldra. You mentioned that the rash of burglaries and sort of more visibility of crime made it easier for Yrsa to get her election and come into power. But it does seem to me like she's more or less what she appears to be, a zealous justice bringer who finally got enough people to back her. But I still want to know whether or not she's being used as some pawn in this.
I couldn't say.
No. Alrighty. So, we have a lead. We have a place to storm. What? How? When you say you came by this information, was this one of your agents who witnessed these thieves with the sashes, or did you hear from someone else?
It was our scouts that saw them leaving the town and heading in that direction. We know that there is it was an old manor that used to belong to a wealthy shipping magnate in this town. Been long since defunct. But it's the only place that, if they were trying to find another clandestine type place to stay, I mean, we have a beat on just about any other, property in the city. It's the only place that they would be able to go where we wouldn't really have direct eyes on them. So we just assumed that's where they were.
And the fact that a scouting team has been lost means that something is lairing there for certain.
It's possible.
Well then.
It doesn't seem to be just gems, though. It also seems to be, I don't know, ancient artifacts. And Beldra looks to Satari, and Satari nods, and she says, "Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how the guards caught me. Is they found me. When they stopped me, they said that they wanted to look inside my bag, and I said sure. I didn't have anything to hide, and knowing how Captain Yrsa is, if I didn't show my bag, it would also be cause for suspicion. So I did, and I opened it up. But what was in my bag wasn't my stuff. There was a blue gem in there, and there was some old piece of paper. And I realized that someone had switched my bag. Because what I had wasn't mine. So, whoever it was, they were carrying these things on them. But the weird thing is, the gem turned out to be a fake.
What about the piece of paper?
All I know about that was that it had some kind of ancient writing on it, and it was meant to be shipped to Weyburn Port.
The guards confiscated this paper, correct?
They did, yes.
Interesting. I think perhaps we could take a visit to Captain Yrsa. One, to look over the evidence and see if there's anything interesting about this paper. And two, we might be able to convince her to give us a little bit of backup for storming this warehouse.
Well, I have a question though. Noriko, you were concerned about Yrsa being manipulated, intentionally or not. Why did they stop you, Satiri? What?
They said that they were looking for someone who was similar to my description.
Okay. That's another thing we get to look out for now.
The gold-eyed tiefling.
Golden-eyed tiefling. Gray skin?
Grey skin. White hair.
She's the one who bumped into me and swapped my bag, I think.
Well, that was
Yuki
rude.
growls low in her throat.
Well, we know we're in the right place.
Do you know her?
Remember when I said we were looking for a wizard of notable power?
Uh-huh.
She's the one who led through the portal.
Satari's eyes go wide, and she says, "That was a wizard?" And she starts, panic drinking her water.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yuki's... God, sorry, Jenna.
No. Go ahead.
Yuki's gonna walk next to Satari, and she's gonna kind of squat down next to her, and she's gonna just kind of put in a hand on Satari's arm. Yuki's gonna start purring, and she's gonna say, "It's all right. You're safe. You're not in any danger right now. You're okay." And she's gonna keep repeating that as she's purring to try to calm Satari down.
Yeah, I'm sure if she wanted something bad to happen to you, she would have killed you already. And you're not dead. So,
Oh God.
Jade, those words in that order are not soothing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just meant that she wasn't targeting you specifically, and probably doesn't want anything bad to happen to you. And it just so happened to be you looked enough like her that she could throw her bag onto you, and then probably just thought they were going to take it and not make you get. I'm just gonna stop talking.
So, actually, that raises an interesting point. One, it means that the guards had caught on to the echo, and she was looking to lose them. But if that was the case, why didn't she just disguise herself?
Yeah, she's really good at that.
Honestly, I'm surprised that she would even allow that form to be the one discovered if she was on a job, as it were.
Well, except that we've been told that this Garnet Hand that she's running, I'm making sarcastic. That's a sarcastic way to do that because I know it's not the real Garnet Hand. That this Garnet Hand she's running has been really out in the open about everything they're doing. Well, it doesn't really seem like she's too concerned about getting caught.
Mm.
Maybe, I mean, Satira, you said that gemstone you found was fake, right?
It was.
Well, maybe she realised after whatever she did that the gem was fake and she didn't care about it enough to keep it with her. Maybe the piece of paper that she had didn't mean anything to her at the moment and she thought maybe it just was going to be a fake too. And so easiest thing for her to do was just get rid of it.
Or she was deliberately trying to mislead the guards.
Well, that's true. Get them on track of the actual Garnet Hand.
So I suppose there's also the possibility that, remember, any of the echoes we've been running across don't seem to be quite on the same level of power as the original. We might be dealing with another situation like back in Dumdaral, where yes, it was an echo, but clearly sort of a fledgling one that hasn't gotten all of their skills back under their belt yet. Maybe this one is one with some roguish talent, but still kind of working out the kinks, which is why it's sort of a little sloppier on the execution here and there. Yeah, a lot of unknowns here. But almost, I think definitely the next step here is to touch base with the guard headquarters and see what details we can fill in based on what Sakari has told us here, and then, well, go knock on some more doors.
Beldra says, you'd really go all this way for us.
Narco looks to Beldra and says, "We're Mystic Mechanicus. We're community outreach. We find problems, we solve them. This seems like a problem, and I would much rather have Redsworth return back to the previous method of commerce, where there's more trade and, the procurement and transfer of useful items. Speaking of which, quid pro quo. If there is anything that you can provide to us that can give us an edge to make sure that this is successful, that will go a long way."
She kind of thinks for a moment. She says, well, I can give you directions to where I sent the scouting party. That might be a place to start.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything handy like that stone that you used for moving through the crowd unseen?
Oh, that. Well, we don't have a lot of them. They're very hard and very expensive to make. We it's actually a small sensor. It releases a smokeless, colorless, scentless smoke that envelops you in magic and makes you essentially invisible to anyone trying to look at you with the naked eye or with uh, with magic that can touch your mind.
Sensor covers Narco. That's the word. Oh, is that an original Iron Hammer pass without trace bomb?
Modified, but something like that, yeah.
Oh, oh, those are collector's items. Oh wow. Um, excuse me. Sorry. Yes, I can see how those would be rather valuable to you in your line of work. But
Yeah.
hmm,
I mean,
Yep.
I can probably spare one, but like I said, they're pretty hard to make and pretty expensive to come by.
Hmm. Did I examine one?
Sure. Um, and she will give you an opened clay vessel that has a stick of cone incense in it.
Let's see. Cool. Using my artificerness, can Narco do some calculations on exactly how expensive it would be for her to create one of these things?
Yeah. Um, give me a moment. I had something ready for this and I lost it.
That's how things work these days.
Because I knew this question was going to come up.
What, Narco being interested in new magic items? No.
Let's see.
Pass without trace and non-detection. That's a combo.
So with the magical know-how, the actual material components and stuff, something like this uh, would cost about 450 gold to make. You would also have to have access to the spells that you can put into it if you were to try to make it yourself.
Uh, that's the tricky biscuit. Pass without trace, not on my spell list. Sad day. Okay. Narco will look it over and say, "Oh yes, you, you. That's quite powerful." Um, in that case, if you would allow, I will take this on hold. Should we find a need for it, and if I do not wind up using it after clearing up these little sashes, I will return it to you.
She nods and hands it over, and she says, I'm sorry we don't have much else to offer you right now, but it sounds like you're on a quest for information and potential allies. Would that be a somewhat correct assumption?
Narco smiles and says, "Indeed, I find things tend to go a lot easier when you have friends who can lend a helping hand.
She nods.
Let me tell you, it was not easy trying to make sure that we would be able to help you and not make an enemy of Yrsa at the same time."
She nods and she kind of bites her lip in thought. She says, there is somebody I know who knows a lot more than I do, both information and people. I think getting you in touch with them would be a better repayment than any material I can come up with. I'm not at liberty to say who at this point in time, but if you are able to go there and find some kind of proof of their existence, maybe even something that could even clear Satari's name, I would be much obliged to put you in touch with them.
How very vague yet promising.
She kind of chuckles and says, "Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's just kind of how these things go. And once you meet this person, you'll understand."
And now ominous as well. Alright. Well, Naraka thinks to herself, I met an archfiend like 3 days ago and told him to strike a business deal with my mom. I'm sure whoever this person is can't possibly be more concerning than that, so... Very well. We're already on track to clean up this problem anyway. If we make more friends along the way, all the better.
She kind of nods. And she will start to give you a map of directions on where she sent the scouting party.
Excellent.
Was Yuki able to calm down Satari?
Give me a performance check.
Okay. Let's see, what's my... Come on. Only +1. Cat, you're not helping me right now. That would be 18.
Yeah, so after a while of sitting with her and kind of purring and kind of soothing her, she's sipping at this cup of water that she has. Eventually you can kind of feel her heart rate start to return to normal.
Nice. Yuki's just going to continue to, as she feels she's starting to, calm down a little, Yuki's still going to remain, continuing to purr, essentially making biscuits on Satari to try to calm her down and just telling her that she's okay, she's safe. She's not in any danger right now. She was a decoy. She was a distraction. The echo is not after her. You're okay. You're safe. And she'll just keep kind of repeating that to Satari to continue to have her calm down.
See, eventually she kind of gets in that rhythm and she smiles at you and she nods and she says, "It was you that cut me down, wasn't it?"
He smiles and just nods.
"Thank you."
I'm sorry I couldn't do more.
I mean, you saved the life of a thief. That's kind of a lot.
Well, life of a thief or life of a king is still a life that deserves to be lived to the fullest. And I'm glad I was able to play a part in keeping yours.
She kind of nods and she says, I'm sorry I don't have anything more to offer you right now."
Make me a promise. Promise me, if you find yourself in a position to do good and to help someone just once, that you do it.
"I think I can do that."
And that is all I need. You keep putting the good fucking karma in the world.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Narka will turn to your companions and see if anyone else has any questions or demands or whatever to make of the Garnet Hand before we take our leave.
So, this is a safe house?
For now, it is. Yeah.
Okay, if we do what we're going to be doing at the manor and it all goes well and no one dies, are we supposed to come back here? Or should we send you a message somewhere? Or, because that man upstairs, he didn't really understand the code words that Nariko was saying, and we had to show him the map. So,
Had I been given more time, I would have been able to give her. I would have been able to give her a code word to give to the dwarf upstairs. He's kind of an aloof kind of guy, which makes his basement great for a safe house for us.
oh. So he's just you just use his basement?
Yeah.
Oh.
For now.
Okay, so do we come back here then?
Yes, you can come back here.
Okay. I have another question. And this mostly to the group and not for just you. So go to the manor, find out the things that they're doing. And then we say that they were actually the Garnet Hand? I mean, they were the ones doing all the breaking and entering that was making people real upset and scared. So I guess technically it's not a lie because they were trying to be, I don't know, they were just doing things. So do we just bring back the sashes?
So anyone who we can capture, we definitely should, because their testimony will be a lot of worth. Also, if we find all of the stolen goods from the past month or so of robberies, and turn that in as evidence, that's a pretty clear indicator that these are the culprits.
Okay.
Any sort of manifests, documents that they've been keeping of their operations, anything that we can do to submit to Captain Yrsa and say, here you go, here is your big bust, here are the criminals. Turns out it's these blue sash people, not the Garnet Hand. So
I guess these blue sash people pretending to be the Garnet Hand.
mm-hmm.
Okay, and she looks at Beldra. Do you want the Garnet Hand to not actually exist then? Or do you want it to be like the Garnet Hand helped us find these people and wanted them to be taken care of as well?
People of Red Dwarf have known that the Garnet Hand has been around for a very long time. I don't think you're going to make us disappear. It would be in our best interest to keep a position of non-involvement.
Okay, so we just won't mention you at all then?
It would come off poorly if we said, by the way, the Garnet Hand pointed us towards these guys, because then it would be very easy to discount this as just, oh, the Garnet Hand took out a rival and maybe pinned some of their stuff on them as well.
Oh, that makes sense.
Understood. We do not know you. We did not see you.
That would
not great at
work.
lying. Okay, so then do we go see Captain Yrsa first and let her know that we got clues?
Yes, we go to Captain Yrsa. We want to know the story about this white-skinned tiefling that they were looking for. Take a look at the documents, see if there's any interesting clues regarding to that, and then let her know that we have a lead on this place. We're expecting there to be enemies present, and to see what, if any, backup she's willing to provide us for that. She seemed very desperate to have a big win to parade before her town, so I'm hopeful that she would be willing to lend even her own sword arm to the proceedings.
not. And if not, then at least, we have each other.
And we will be very certain to make sure everyone in the city knows that it was the Mystic Mechanicus who solved this problem and not their newly elected official. And see how that goes for her.
You're a little bit cutthroat, Noriko, and it's quite fetching.
Naruko blushes furiously, not quite sure what to respond to for that.
I'll just
Today we learned that Jade likes the bad girls. It does make sense. She is from hell.
She is from hell. She also just really likes watching Naruko do her thing. It's really satisfying to watch someone good at something do a thing.
So yeah, if no further business needs to be discussed here, then
What do you think, Professor? Reverie?
Professor might be muted.
oh no, the typing of
Oh
defeat.
no.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh.
That Mac.
The Mac attacks.
The professor is such a talky character. This is like the worst curse for Mars to be operating on.
I know.
It's not like Thavri, where you can just be like sword and continue on.
Sword, shield, smash you. Well, while Professor types, Reverie?
I'm just worried about the clones right now.
Beldra and Satari look at each other and they say, I'm sorry, clones?
Reverie kind of looks to the rest of the group. Like, should I have not said that?
Yeah.
Clowns. She has a great fear of clowns. They are terrifying.
Let's not make a long story any longer.
Well, with an 8 on their insight, they kind of shrug and, oh, sorry, we thought you said clones.
Nope, it's what Ren said. I'm gonna go now, bye.
Professor seems in agreement.
Have a nice day.
They kind of wave.
Anyone?
They say, well, yes, good luck. Thank you again, I suppose.
If you need us. Bob's, you can find us, I'm sure. We're pretty easy to spot. Not for nothing, Ren, but that line delivery of "Have a nice day" reminded me of a horror movie called Chopping Mall, and it was about killer robots in a mall that they would kill people, and then their final lines were "Have a nice day," and then keep rolling.
Oh, I love it.
The best movie.
It's so funny,
So good.
so 80s,
Such a great B movie.
really good.
Cool. Pay no heed to the robot wheeling behind Naruko. I'm sure that's going to be fine. All right. Well, we just had our meeting with the crime gang. Let's go talk to the police.
playing both angles.
Capitalism, man. They're both markets.
That is true.
I'm going to take a guess that Harper Watch Tower is a fortified position where possibly the guard hang out.
You would be correct. As you approach the walls of the inner harbor, there's a small station of guards that are standing there, kind of blocking the way. They kind of see you coming, but they make no motion.
I love how, like, less than a week ago, Naruto just made up a little design for her own personal friend club, and now she's, like, flashing that around like it's her FBI badge to get in places.
Okay, but it works.
Yep.
Yeah, it works. You made enough of a
Yep.
name for ourselves, and now this is what's happening.
I still have that little Sentinel Squire badge in my inventory. I haven't used that for shit.
Yeah, hey,
love
the
it.
Sentinels haven't inspired the confidence of the Mystic Mechanicus.
It's called manifesting.
Branding, man, branding.
Manifesting. That's what you're doing.
Manifest that destiny.
Manifest that shit.
That's not how that works. Should be.
I'm sorry. Do you know who I am?
do you know who
do
I
I
am?
need- do I need to speak with your manager? So yeah, heading to the tower.
So you make your way to Harbor Watch Tower. Outside there are more guards stationed that are kind of in front of the door, and they see you coming, and they nod at you, and they look at you and say, "State your business here, please."
Narka von Grutzner and Company, Mystic Mechanicus. We're here to ask some questions of the captain and give her an update on some leads on her investigation.
Two guards look at each other. One looks back at you and nods and says, "All right, follow me." And he'll open the door and lead you inside the tower.
Mikey.
Leads you inside, brings you to a stairwell, brings you up a couple of flights, down a hallway of offices where there is a big double door at the end. Opens up and you see another office with a kind of large, like, resolute desk standing there. There's a couple of windows overlooking the harbor from this office. Again, some comfortable seating around. You notice that there are a number of there's a bunch of weaponry that's kind of like on display in here. Different periods of like the progression of how weaponry has kind of evolved. Some other shields and some other like heraldry kind of hung about in this room. You see Captain Yrsa sitting behind the desk. The guard letting you in announces your presence, and she waves you in. She stands from behind the desk and she says, "Miss von Grutzner," and I believe, looking at the rest of you, this would be the rest of the Mystic Mechanicus.
Yes.
Yuki will wave. Like they
There's kind of
Hello.
there's kind
don't
of
kill me.
I heard Mars. There's kind of a side-eye glance towards Yuki, but she nods.
Yes, we are.
Yes, good morning. What can I do for you?
Well, it's been a productive evening and a productive morning. I have a very promising lead for you, if you are interested. But before that, I wanted to finish up my primary investigation on a couple points. The girl who was brought up from the gallows, Satari, I believe her name was. I understand that she was picked up by one of your patrols after a quick search. You were looking for a tiefling that somewhat matched her description, is that correct?
Yes, there was a tiefling, we were told, with gray skin, gold eyes, and white hair. That was over by the west docks. There had been reports of this tiefling in the area trying to get on board a ship that was bound for Iceland. Had some goods on it to be delivered. Before the ship set sail, the crew had taken stock of the inventory and realized that there was a couple of items missing. And when we went to follow up the lead, we had stopped a number of people, this Satari included, and she had the missing items on her person.
I see. And the items in question, I take it this was a gemstone and then some ancient documents?
She kind of frowns a bit. She says, "Where did you get this information?"
Narco smiles. When you have a reputation for heroism, there are certain people who are willing to say things that they aren't quite so willing next to gods. Puts them at ease. But more importantly, she kind of taps at Arby standing next to her. With a little bit of investigation and some magic, there's a lot you can uncover.
Full of tricks. You are correct. There was a gem that was bound for the School of Magic in Moonhaven, and an old ancient parchment, I believe, was Kakabeshian, that was headed for Weyburn Port, the museum there.
Do you happen to have these items taken as evidence, or were they returned back to the ship and left with it?
I do have them in evidence lockup, yes.
I would be very interesting in examining both of these.
She kind of frowns and she says, "Fine." She goes to sit behind her desk, and you can hear her kind of like she's manipulating some locks and stuff that are behind there. You hear a drawer open, and on top of her desk she places a translucent light blue gem and an old piece of parchment.
Okay. Checking out the gem. Anything pinging as magical off of it?
Using your detect magic?
I'll go so far as I'll use an identify on it.
Okay. Identify spell returns that this is not actually a gem, it is a piece of glass.
Narco pulls out her mystic monocle, looks it over, goes, and then just casually pops it back on the desk. Yep, glass and utterly worthless. Good to know. And looks back over at the Kakabeshian writing, and she will turn over. Professor, you have a good deal of historical knowledge. Maybe you can make some sense of this.
He looks at it and kind of tips his head, gets really close to it, kind of squints his eyes, and pulls out a pair of like big round lens, like gold rim glasses. The first time that he's pulled something like this out and puts it on, kind of looks at it. What do I know about it?
What you know about it is that it's Kakabeshian.
And if I use comprehend languages, can I read it?
Yes! You can.
Amazing.
I knew what to take when I took that level up.
Hell yeah.
Allow
So he will use comprehend languages to try and comprehend this language.
Alright. Well, are you gonna let everybody read this, or are you just gonna read this? Are you gonna like read it out loud, or how do you wanna do this?
He'll give it a quick breeze over and read it, translate it out loud in his most professorly facilitator voice.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. This might take a few minutes, folks.
Did you not have a translation ready to go?
I did. I know I do. I absolutely 100% do, but it's a little bit lengthy, so it might take a few minutes to get through it. Not a few minutes, but
That's
it'll take
awesome, DM.
it'll take a minute to get through. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
oh my god.
It's okay, guys. He got better.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, that's great. I love how I had kept that implied but ambiguous, and was just like, Joe will find someone to pin this on. Great.
I sure did.
Oh, you did.
Oh,
You did indeed.
man. Well, I hope wherever Ankesh reincarnated to, he's having a good time.
Yeah,
Ooh,
he's
that little
fine.
rat bastard.
Oh, he's fine.
It's
You know,
it's okay. The
sometimes
two
you gotta kill a
brothers,
brother.
the brothers made up. They reconciled. They like improved as people, and all that happened was an entire like ancient civilization collapsed into anarchy and death. You know, it was better.
It's fine. It's fine. It was lost to the annals of time, and
You know, the Bronze Age collapsed, and you know we're here now.
we're here
We
now.
got iron.
Something got
It got
better.
better.
It's fine. He's got a wife now.
Cool.
So does the professor read this out loud to everyone?
Yes.
Awesome. Is it the same? That's the men from the books, right?
The-
Really unusual name, so it's just the one. I'm pretty sure.
The same bard who wrote those books about the thorns of the black rose that you like.
Oh no! Well, I'm sure it's the bard because the bard he's everywhere. No, I mean, Setka.
Oh yeah. Wait, so this is a first-hand account of when he was the alive pharaoh before he became the mummy.
Yeah, and then but he got better. He did. He. That's what it says in the books anyway, and I'm pretty sure it's true. Because I think but I mean he's alive. He was at least the last time I read about it. But the story's kind of stopped after the last battle.
Jade, is the bard kind of like your uncle Deus in that they're not like mortal? Like,
I don't know who the bard is. No one does.
okay.
There's only ever one copy of the book at a time. But and you're supposed to once you read it, you're supposed to leave it somewhere so someone else can find it. But my mom usually is able to find me the latest copies, and then I can I can read it before
before I have to give them away.
Okay.
I think
Well-
sometimes it's more than one copy. Sometimes the book that I'm reading changes, and it's a different book. So I think sometimes there's more than one.
Gotcha. Well, if our suspect here was interested in this particularly, I don't know whether it's the information on one of the thorns, or the bard, or the herald, or what was the most intriguing part of this?
Maybe it was the cup.
Oh, the goblet. That sounds like an important artifact.
What?
Okay.
The clues that we got said that gems and artifacts.
Good. Well, this definitely belongs in a museum, so should definitely be there. But okay, more clues to add into the dossier. That's good. She'll turn her attention back to Captain Yrsa. Right then. Well, I promised a good lead, and I do have one. Through our investigations and a few clues on where the break-ins have been occurring and where the goods have been flowing, it seems to me that there is a place, a old. You said it was like a trade post.
Like a manor,
or
like
a manor.
Yeah, like an old, almost like an old mansion.
There's an old mansion just outside of town here, which appears to have some activity going back and forth between here and the city. And I have very good reason to believe that the culprits of our break-ins have been holding up there. I was curious if that would be enough to interest you in assisting us when we go to take a look and then ensure that there aren't any to escape from justice.
Ursa kind of shakes her head. She says, "We know the Scarlet Hand or the Garnet Hand operates only in town. Whatever is outside it's outside of our jurisdiction, and we don't have the manpower to just chase down speculation."
Oh, that makes such perfect sense. It's outside of your jurisdiction, therefore they'd be completely safe there. Oh, clever, clever.
That also explains why she's only been seen in town occasionally, if she's popping in and out.
Well, that's unfortunate. I was hoping that you'd be able to partake in some of the glory when the roundup happens. But we'll be sure to include your name when we bring back the stolen goods and any captured criminals to the town.
I think she looks kind of confused as you say that to her. Like she's trying to determine whether this is a good or a bad thing, but she kind of shakes her head and she says, "I understand how this must sound to you, but I can't go marching off in that direction without any evidence pointing to it. If you can give me evidence that what is going on there is affecting what's happening in town, then I'll be able to pursue it."
Fair enough. Then Narco looks to her companions and says, "I'm not really interested in staking out the city here until another break-in happens just so that we can corner one of these rats when we already know where they're hiding."
We could just go there and see if we could. If they're not
More
all
importantly,
there,
I don't want our prime suspect to have another opportunity to
escape.
before we have a chance to talk with her.
Right.
That was most unfortunate. We should go as soon as we can.
Agreed.
Okay.
Captain Yrsa, if we were to send a messenger to you, such as, say, a familiar, stating that we were on the premises and we had made confirmed contact with the brigands, would that be enough of a casus belli for you to make a trip out there?
If that confirmation also includes confirmation that they are acting within Red's Wharf, then yes, I'd respond.
Okay. Well, good to know. Alrighty. Friends? I think we've got some work to do.
I must put it on record, though, that even you will do what you will, but I can't condone this action of yours. You are not deputized guards of the city.
But we're not going into the city to do anything there.
Indeed, it is outside of the city.
Right. But I must put it on record that this is not something that I am condoning.
Is it because you
This
don't
is
want to
something
pay
you.
it? Go
Sorry.
ahead, Professor.
This is something you want, though, isn't it?
I want my city safe and secure, of course.
And in order to do that, see, we're not exactly working against you. And I mean, if you're worried about us not being deputized, I believe that you have the power to do that.
Oh,
Do you not?
You misunderstand me. It's not. I'm not going to stop you. What you do outside of the city is none of my business. As long as you are not affecting the security of my city.
Ah, right. Plausible deniability.
Call it what you like.
Very well then. Amending my note, not to bring your name up afterwards. Perfect. All right, team, let's move out.
Transform and roll out.
Have a nice day.
Neither the cops nor the robbers want to be associated with us. That means we're on the winning side.
Hey, when both aspects of the law don't want to do it, it means you're walking the middle, and that's right where you're supposed to be.
Capitalism ho.
Woo!
Woo!
Guys, are we the bad guys? Capitalism's always the bad guys.
So it's about mid-morning. You're about I'd say you're probably around like 10ish or so in the morning, maybe a little bit later than that as you make your way out of Harbor Watch Tower back into the city proper. Your group has gathered. You have gotten some information from both sides. You seem to be forming a plan of attack. What is next?
Marco will check to see if anyone in the party needs to stock back up. Given what happened last time with the Knolls, she will be very happy if everyone still has at least like one healing potion on their person at least.
Yuki will need a healing potion,
Cool.
so she will need to stop.
Yeah. So a potion for Yuki. Anything else anyone needs? New spells that need material components or anything like that?
Not me.
Alrighty. In that case, Narco will accompany Yuki to the potion shop.
All right. Let's see. Okay. So, if you head towards the market district where there are a number of shops and everything set up, there are There are vendors of all sorts there. There are potions, there are standard equipment, there's gear, there's standard, you know, standard issue traveling shops that are there. Um, you'll find that you're able to pick up uh, regular potions of healing for 50 gold apiece. There are also, where is it? It's potions of greater healing for 150 each. And you will also find Ren may find this interesting, that there are also potions of poison for 100 gold apiece.
Oh.
Ooh. No, I don't need them.
Naruto feels.
I might need some more holy water. And that's a 25 gold thing for each round. If I could get 1 or 2, that would be very helpful.
Okay. Naruto feels really guilty about Yuki getting all of the hits lately, so she's willing to spring for a potion of greater healing, and then 2 flasks of holy water will together come to 200 gold.
Yep.
Oh.
No problem.
Holy water.
Yuki will take the potion of greater healing from Naruto, kind of smile wistfully and say, I'll try to stop getting hit as much.
Naruto says, it's okay. That's also why we have Arby now. She sort of pats at the construct. No matter what, he is here to be our frontline focus. He's pretty good bodyguard. He can help keep you safe if you need to shoulder up next to you.
Yuki will nod and say, understood.
Okay.
All right. Anything else that anyone would like to look for?
I don't know if anyone's selling a suit of half plate armor for like 400 gold. I'll go for that. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, not so much.
No, of course not. Yeah. Then with consumables replenished, rejoin with the rest of the Mystic Mechanicus and head off to go storm the manor.
Oh,
I think
right.
while they're shopping, Jade's gonna have a little aside with Reverie real quick. If that's okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Reverie.
Yeah.
I know you're worried about what you look like right now. I just want you to know that we're not going to let anything happen to you. And if you want to change, that's okay. And you can, because I know you can look like kind of whoever you want to. But don't change because of her if you don't want to. Don't let her make you afraid of what you want to be. I know it's a lot coming from me because I'm afraid of most everything. But who you are is great.
Thanks. I know everybody here is going to look after me. I just And it's not even her. It's just I don't want to deal with them looking for a gray-skinned, white-haired tiefling. And sure, she has gold eyes, but I have blue, and who's going to notice the eyes from a distance?
And if you don't want to deal with it, that's okay. And if you want to change, you can. It'll be all right.
Okay.
Just don't let it ruin anything for you. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Could you when we get there, if she's there, I talked with my papa last night, and he helped me learn a couple of new things. If you want me to, I have a spell that makes it so it'll last for 10 minutes, but I can try to make her not lie if you have questions you want to ask her.
I don't know if I will or not. I'll have to think about that.
Okay.
But I appreciate you offering.
Okay. Whatever you need. Okay.
The Reverend nods.
Just hug her.
Hugs back.
That's it.
All right. So, let's go ahead and bring you back to the map. This map.
Woohoo.
So you're down here by Red's Wharf. The directions that Beldra gave you will take you off in this direction, about here. Takes about an hour by foot to get there. We are closing in on 11 o'clock, so I will get us there before we end for the evening. So, the path that you take, like I said, it's about an hour walk. As you are following the directions that Beldra gave you towards this manor, towards where she sent the scouting party, going on an hour down the road, the environment around you begins to change. The path becomes overgrown with old, decaying trees with tangles of thorny vines wrapped around them and extending all into the undergrowth. The canopy of these trees nearly cover the sky on the path ahead. Twisted-looking plants are scattered off the path under the canopy, with their stems curving around themselves and growing at odd angles, topped with brightly colored flowers in hues of red, pink, blue, and orange. As your attention catches one of these brightly colored flowers, you can see a centipede climbing into it, probably to drink the dew off of its petals. In a split second, teeth-like barbs extend from the center of the flower and close around the centipede's body, trapping it there until it is motionless.
Oh,
Strange chitters and yips and croaks of wildlife can be heard from deeper under this canopy, giving the feeling that this place is alive and watching. What do you
Ren is pleased. He would like to move here eventually.
do? Would you guys like to do anything? Do you continue on?
Would there be any way to determine whether the kind of aliveness and local flora is normal magic or void magic corruption? Because we keep running into that shit. And also, twigs just attacked my friends last night. So, and now we know organic material has a more visceral reaction.
Just Venus flytraps hanging out.
I'll tell you what, Red and Professor, why don't either of you or both of you give me a perception check?
Okay.
Both. Definitely both.
both is good.
Both is good. Alright, guys, what are we doing today? Oh, we're doing a 2 right now. Cool. I'm really distracted. I like that plant a lot. That plant's awesome.
If
Red,
only it played music too.
Red, it feels like you could live here. Professor, the effects that you're seeing in this canopy, very similar to what you saw from when those twig blights sprang to life.
He kind of narrows his eyes and he says, this definitely looks like void corruption.
So it lasts then. It doesn't just go away.
But we don't know exactly when this happened. It could have just happened before we got here.
Alright. Weapons out and be on the guard. I think the local flora might not take kindly to our trespassing. Narco's going to move RB to be up in the front of the formation.
Yuki's claws are out.
Granite's
Right.
quite and send
I
a
will.
message to get him some plants and pots.
I'm popping my detect magic
Cool.
because I don't have to use a spell slot to use it. It just happens.
Very nice.
Narco is also going to magic weapon touch Yuki so that she can get her +1 for the next hour.
Woo!
Very nice. So then, I guess while we're talking about setting RB in front, what kind of marching order do you guys all want to have?
I think Yuki will be towards the front, probably behind Arby.
Yuki behind RB.
Narco will be next to Yuki.
Okay.
Ren is in the middle. Please, someone don't let him play with the plants too much. He really wants to.
Jade will be behind Ren.
Jay behind Red.
Reverie.
Reverie. Professor.
Professor says he's up near the
Oh.
front, so we'll put him
So I have
right
I
behind
have
Yuki and
well I have RB up front. I have Narco and Yuki behind RB. I have Ren behind Narco and Yuki, and then I have Reverie and Jade behind Ren.
so Professor be in front of Ren then.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Okay.
Good night.
Good night. What?
Mars had to run. He had to
Oh.
take everything. Put it in chat real quick.
Oh.
Night! First night. He's not here.
So then last thing, and then I'll change the map, and then we'll call it a night. So you make your preparations, weapons at the ready. You set yourselves in the order in which you want to proceed. The further down the path you travel, the more shadows start to close in, but also the quieter it becomes. It isn't long before you find the setup for a campsite. 4 tents set up, 3 of which with one side appearing to have been clawed through, and a couple of bedrolls laid out in front of an unlit fire pit.
Does it the claw? Does it looks like it was clawed through from the inside or the outside?
We'll find out next week.
Damn it!
Oh boy, this is the scouting party that went missing.
Oh shit, that fire isn't lit. This is just the map art that I have. I'm gonna put an X on that. X. Oh, bigger. More. That'll do. Oh, I guess I should also indicate which tents were ripped through. So that would be this one, and this one. All right. Good game, everybody.
Holy shit, that was
Yee.
fucking amazing.
We got the information we needed a lot quicker than I thought we might.
All part
Right?
of the plan.
Imagine the scenario where we didn't manage to save Satari and then had to like case through the city to try and find where the Garnet Hand are, or where we made an enemy of the guard and had to sneak around the city the entire time we're here and like bust into her office to like find her stuff.
Right? Oh, yeah, this could have gone so wrong in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, no, we're just going to talk to you. We're going to talk to you. Okay, cool. Neither of you seem to be the culprit here. You have directions to people who we can shoot. Yes, that solves so many problems. Thank you.
Yeah, that all. I think that all went about as well as it could go.
Hell yeah.
RP MVP nomination.
I loved Ren for
Hell.
said clowns.
Yes, I was about to say exactly that.
Oh my god, yes.
I loved Naruto saving Yuki's ass from the guards and just like absolutely bowling over them.
I'm sorry, are you harassing my employee? No.
Fantastic.
I really liked pretty much everything with Yuki tonight too.
Yes.
Of trying to hide from, like, realizing the guards spotted her, thinking that they might recognize her, trying to hide, succeeding, but like almost not, and then still coming down the stairs with herself, like feeling refreshed and new, and really leaning into like where she wanted to start from, and then trying to comfort Satiri.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and the reveal of the monastic tradition that she took.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
boy.
was really
Nice.
good. That was a pretty epic thing tonight with that.
Man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Oh.
Well,
I think you should give out multiple inspirations tonight, just for funsies.
Yeah.
Before we burn all of them.
Yeah, we're about to. We're about to.
Seriously.
Let's see. Yeah, so Jade also had some really great moments.
Professor
about-
also had some really great moments.
Professor
had some
asking
amazing
about like
moments.
wanting to learn from Moloch, and then
Mm-hmm.
revealing to the party the journal that he started so that we can keep an eye on him, and
helpful.
All that like talk about
Mhm.
you know, the magic and how that was working, and the void magic and the trying to figure that out. That was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And then Reverie too, with when you get news about another potential clone being in the area, just
Yep.
Oh my god, just I could feel the tension that like being concerned that all eyes could potentially be on her, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just the anxiety.
that was gonna be my next shout out about that.
Yep.
I'm gonna break my rule. I'm giving everyone inspiration tonight.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh
If-
no,
if I
it's a medicine drop, guys.
Legit.
If I already have 2 inspirations, can I trade in an inspiration for something else of value?
Ooh.
What is your offer?
That's basically just like we can negotiate.
That was it depends if ever I've heard one.
Honestly, at this point, just gold, because Naruto is like putting together a shopping list at this point.
Specifically 450 gold and access to 2 spells.
Maybe not that.
I'm
No,
sure.
no, I'm not. I'm not looking to be greedy here.
Gold, huh?
I will say, if you set a precedent, we're gonna try to do it again.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like. That's why I'm like. I don't know if I should give in to
Yeah,
this.
you could also have it be something that's like in the vein of inspiration, but not technically inspiration. I don't know, like that Factoring Witchlight, where you gave people like D4s to stash for
Mhm.
rules, where it's like, oh, that's it. That's like inspiration, but not as powerful.
Oh,
I don't
okay. No, that's actually pretty good. That's good. That's not a bad idea.
or even something like, oh, your Clockwork Amulet, you can have like a second charge to it, but
Oh,
once that extra charge gets used, then that's it.
Oh, I like that. Let's go with that.
Cool.
Right.
I like
Ah,
that.
fucker.
I love this. Since you
Give
guys
yourself
hate me, I this.
give yourself an extra charge on a clockwork amulet. That works.
Yeah. I mean, it's similar in inspiration in that it helps you with rolls, but instead of advantage, it's just round it, make it a D10, which is
Yeah.
great for stuff where you should reasonably succeed, but the dice just hate you at the moment.
Yes. Yes.
You mean
You
like
made an awesome speech about it and then failed your persuasion roll.
I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me.
Yeah,
You're like,
and
no,
then
that was too good. It should have been a success.
oh, it's like, oh man, that sucked. Hey, I'm gonna spend inspiration. I hope I roll more than a 5. Oh look, a 6.
the line was these dice better roll the higher than a 5.
And it did roll higher.
Those little
Malicious,
shit.
malicious compliance, man.
Good
Cool.
game, thanks.
Nice.
Amazing. So fun. Love the lore drops tonight, by the way. So
You know,
fucking cool.
I wrote that thing up, and I was like, somebody's gonna take comprehend languages. I don't
Yep.
think I have any way of not giving this information if someone uses that. Not
Good
that I
job.
I mean,
didn't
what?
want to. I wanted so badly for you guys to read that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just imagining like if for whatever reason we didn't, which I think I remember Reverie has it in her spellbook, regardless.
Yes.
Before we even started the session,
Hmm.
but I mean, otherwise we would have taken it. And who do we know who speaks this? Well, it would either be one of the Anubai, the Sphinx over in Moonhaven, or Sepka himself. And I would have loved to see Sepka's reaction to reading this. I'm like, huh,
Not a happy
Harold, huh?
Who's this guy?
What the fuck?
Who's this guy? Where's he live? What's he do?
Gonna find out.
All right, guys. I gotta go to sleepies. I gotta go to stupid work in the morning.
Real quick before everybody
Yeah.
bounces out, how did everybody feel at the table tonight? Was everybody okay? Did I talk over anybody? Did everybody feel like they got a chance to get in the mix?
I think tonight was great.
I do
Okay.
too.
Okay, good.
What about
I just want to check in.
All
Not-
good in the hood.
Cool. There were definitely a couple times where I started talking at the same time someone else did because it caught up after the fact, but which happens occasionally. Most often to Neville for some odd reason.
I am also a talker, so it's just law of averages. If anyone else is going to start a talking, it'll probably be me.
Yeah, which is fine, and I felt fine with it.
And I think we're really good at like when we both talk at the same time, whoever it is, because I know I did it a couple times tonight too with you, Jenna, and like
Yeah,
I think we're really good at being like, no, you go first. Like, Sarzar, you I think we're really good at kind of balancing that out.
yeah,
We don't bowl over each other like that.
cool.
Because
I
we
just
should
wanna
love each other.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody got some time, and I didn't over speak.
I think this session compared to last week, just general energy level for folks was a little bit higher as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. next couple of days too, I'll also probably throw some information in the Discord about some details about the live session.
Dun, dun,
We're
dun.
still recording.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Oh
Still
Lord, it's
recording,
coming.
What was that, Ben?
Still recording.
Yeah, I'm still recording.
Oh.
Okay.
Tonight we learned Jade likes the bad girls. That's what I learned.
Tonight we did learn that Jade likes the bad girls.
True.
And Reverie is scared of clowns.
Never is scared of clowns.
All right, I'm out. Bye, guys.
Night.
Bye.
That's what at least what Beldra and Satari think.
Yep.
Truth.
It's
All right,
working.
guys. Go as well. Good night. Good night. Love you all.
Good night.
I love you.
Oh, my mouth hurts.
And I'll go ahead and end the recording by saying
Penis.
yeah. Beware of clowns.
Always trust strangers in basements.
Also, yes.